3 billion human lives ended on August 29th, 1997. The survivors of the nuclear fire called the war Judgment Day. They lived only to face a new nightmare, the war against the machines.
I'm Ben.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sorry says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itsorry@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Ben-Sorry. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sorry and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 here and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. A child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. As you can see, the title of this stream is 3 Ways to Die. That's death metal. We are going to be looking at 3 death metal bands, I think. And obviously the bands are cool, but the real event today is that we have got a brand new DJ in the freaking rotation.
Yes, we do. Shout out to Ben.
We love all of our DJs, but when you get a new DJ in the house, you gotta celebrate, right? I mean, I think everybody has to agree with that for sure. So, this is Ben. He is our DJ for the day. He's got the 3 Ways to Die stream. We're going to be doing some death metal for you beautiful people, maybe some progressive, but with some death under or overtones. So this is going to be really, really good, guys. I'm really 4 bands. I think it's Opeth, Carcass, Bolt Thrower, and I'm missing one.
Obituary.
Obituary, which is
we
the
just
first.
talked
You're
about.
like, they just came out with this song.
What's going on here?
Obituary recently released a song.
We're back at the better angle now. Okay. Conscience. Oh, wait, are we good?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure.
The name of the song is Without a Conscience. And apparently this is from their brand new album that they let loose on Friday the 13th.
Holy shizzle.
Just like January 13th. So it just passed. So this is hot off the press. Let's do this thing.
All right, here we go. Obituary, song number 1. Obituary, Without a Conscience. DJ Ben.
Old school death metal, apparently.
Old school death freaking metal. DJ Ben, let's do this shit.
price of free speech ratings. I'll put it into you. Within the price of blood still beating. I'll put it in. I'll put it into you. Without a conscience. Without a conscience. I'll put it into you.
The first time I heard somebody say, "I will end you."
Yeah. How old are you?
Huh?
How old were you?
I was.
Were you a kid?
No, I was.
And you.
I was trying out for a team. Go team, go! And it was a pretty arduous process. And you know, it's the whole psychological game when they're like trying to break you down, and then you look the guy in the eye like, you know, all that shit, because like you're not gonna, you know,
Yeah.
I will fucking end you. I will end you.
Okay.
Wasn't a good idea.
Oh no.
It wasn't a good idea. I shouldn't have done that.
Oh no.
But that line, bro, like, I will end you. Like, and then he says, I'll put an end to you. There's that other band. I forgot the name of the band, but at the end of the song, they just keep repeating, end him slow.
Yeah.
When you just talk about, like, ending somebody, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Especially current situations considered. But it is kind of a badass phrase. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I mean, it is kind of a badass phrase. Like, dude, I will put an end to you. I will end you.
I guess. I will put an. Is he talking about, like, when he says without the price of free speech ratings? Okay, first of all, explain free speech ratings. Is that like what you get for if you say too much, or you say you don't even like? Is that the ratings we're talking about?
Yeah.
If somebody talks too much or says too much using their free speech.
Yeah, I think it's part of the. Oh, there's your boy Ian Kirby there.
What's up, Ian?
You sexy bastard. Yeah, like So I asked the question again. I got distracted by your buddy Ian there.
So without the price of free speech, basically, is he saying I don't need to use like the groups of people that are shutting everybody down for saying the wrong thing. I don't need to use, I'm gonna end you, and I'm gonna do it my way without it being like something like that. Is that what he's saying? I didn't. There was the lyrics kept repeating, and it was this. He was saying the same thing, so I wasn't sure. Like that's what I was, without a conscience, without fear. I mean, obviously he's ending someone, but
yeah. So yeah. I mean, now we got to get into the weeds. Yeah, without the price of free speech ratings, within the price of blood spilled feedings, I'll put an end to you. So notice here it says without and then within.
Yeah.
So something is outside, something is inside.
Oh.
See what I'm saying? Without the price of free speech, within the price of blood spilled.
Oh, okay. Yep.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's interesting.
So it looks to me like let me know, Ben, if let me know if the mic is loud enough yet. If we need to turn it up more, just keep letting us know. It looks to me like some of this is like the media and the media's effect on people and how it works in the world. So, for example, there's a giant debate, and this song came out in 2023.
Yeah, it just came out.
Which means, you know, when Elon bought Twitter, there was that whole giant discussion about free speech.
Yeah.
And, you know, Elon was trying to kind of position himself as a hero of free speech, which, you know, there was a lot of complexities relative to that whole situation when Elon was buying Twitter. Mm-hmm. But free speech took center stage. But I don't know what he means by the price of free speech ratings. To me, that could be, it only came out 10 days ago. To me, that could go either way. It could be there is a cost to using free speech. So, for example, you know, and this gets talked about a lot when there's, you know, the debates about cancel culture, where you say free speech doesn't mean that you're free of consequences.
Right.
So you can say something, but then there's a price you're going to have to pay for that thing that you said. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of times what was happening is like for example, the term cancel culture to me is useful in some contexts and then gets overused in some contexts. So, for example, if a person comes out and says, "I'm going to murder 50 people at 5:00 in the morning on Saturday at Walmart," or whatever, like, and that person gets banned or whatever, I don't think that that's quote cancel culture. And so everybody on either side of the debate wants to make it sound like it's very simplistic. But the whole concept of speech and all that is not simplistic. But beyond that, the issue is you can have your free speech. You just need to be willing to pay the price.
Right.
Right? Like, so, you know, we take certain positions that are not popular with our own people, with our own audience, you know, so, and there is a price that you pay for that. Like, you know, it's funny in our case, like if we would have stayed silent on certain topics, like, you know, I mean, it's come out like how algorithms get manipulated, people get shadow banned, all types of shit. I don't need to relitigate that, but it just seems to me that he's kind of looking at everything that's going on, right? Like, and maybe he's like tired of it because it's like, okay, free speech ratings, I'll put an end to that, and then within the price of blood spilled feedings, I'll put an end to that, which is basically the media does both of those things. Like, they manipulate speech and they you know, and then at the same time, there's always blood on the TV because that gets you ratings, right? So like, and the other thing too is like, and you see this, like I especially see this, you know, with the Ben Shapiro's, the Own the Lib crowd, where it's kind of like you want to say the most offensive, hurtful thing possible to the most marginalized groups of people so that you can quote own the libs, right? That's the big thing, is owning the libs. So it's like, you know, what's the dude? I forgot the guy's name, but after George Floyd died, like he shot like a 5-minute clip with a guy standing on his neck, all types of shit, just doing the most crazy, insightful of violence, hurtful, evil shit, because it's gonna generate clicks, it's gonna generate revenue for you, and he's losing his humanity, but he's getting paid, and it's all funny, ha ha ha, right?
It's not worth it.
but well, that's the thing, is that I know people who were like, had blood in their mouth when they saw that video. But it's like, hey, I have free speech. Hey, I have free speech. It's like, yeah, man, okay, you know, great, you have free speech, so you get to do that. But all that's doing is stoking a lot more hate.
You're talking about the one with that kid? It was a kid that had died?
No, George Floyd had died. A cop knelt on his neck.
Yes,
and
I
then
thought you were talking about the kid.
Dude went on TV and...
Well, they did the same thing with that kid.
Yeah. And it's like...
A teenager.
Yeah, it's about being like the most...
Being
the most hurtful, evil person you can. And then when people say you are a shit person, people go, oh, well, I have free speech. So it's like, yeah, dude, like, you got free speech, man, but that's not going to protect you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the crazy thing to me about like some of these people, like when they go like so far, because I mean that whole
Where's your lines?
Where
are your lines?
Yeah.
Even George Floyd was a grown man. I think it was crazy what they did in that situation.
Right.
But that other situation, the kid, he was like 14 years old. Yeah. He was apologizing. Like, that situation was so fucked up. That situation, that...
Oh yeah, Elijah McClain.
And they went back into the same thing.
Strangled him to death, and then they went to his death site where people were memorializing him and they were mocking him.
He was throwing up and he was apologizing because they were choking him.
Yeah, like I don't even want to like. Yeah.
But stuff like that, it's like you think that. See, that's where, and that's when I see stuff like this, when he says, I'll put an end to you, the price of free. To me, I wasn't sure if he was saying like, look, I don't need to have the free speech ratings like go after you, like I'm gonna take care of this, like this has gone too far. Is that what he's saying?
I mean, yeah, I mean it's art, but I can tell you, I mean, the McClain situation, the Elijah McClain situation,
yeah,
that's when I said to myself, I really need to start praying that God never puts me in that situation.
Yeah.
Because I swear to God, if that ever happened to any of my sons, people would die. And I'd be wrong for that. But people would die. And I've said that publicly. Like, any of these people touch my kids, bro, you're going to die. So, and then, like, that's the thing, like, I don't understand about these parents. Somebody kills your boy and then goes to the site where he's being memorialized and mocks you and you do nothing. Like, is life that important to you? It's not that important to me. That's where I'm at, guys. That's where I'm at. But notice, Do they have the freedom to go to that site and do that? Yes, that's a form of speech. They absolutely have the freedom to do that. The problem is that there's a price for that. Mm-hmm. The problem is one of these people are going to do that to the wrong person.
Yeah, the problem is...
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Stop
myself right there.
They're going to do that. They're going to do that with the wrong person. Mm-hmm. So, you do have freedom of speech, but there's a price that you're going to have to pay.
The people that do stuff like that.
And that's why the song, Without a Conscience, do you have a conscience?
Yeah.
You just mock people who are dying? What the fuck? Mm-hmm. Go ahead, what were you saying?
Yeah, that's interesting. You're saying they're doing that without a conscience. Oh, I thought he was saying, look, I'm coming after you, and I don't even have a conscience. You're done.
What I'm saying is one leads to the other, right? You unconscionably did all this bullshit to get ratings and all this other shit. Mm-hmm. So now you've made it so that I don't have any conscience when I go to see you. Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying? It creates this cycle, which is why Jesus spoke so much against violence.
Right.
And which is why I'm saying, if that ever happened to my kid, people would die. But I also understand my limitations.
Oh, I know.
See what I'm saying?
I pray it all the time. I said, Lord, please don't put him in that situation.
There's no conversation. Don't put him in that situation. No conversation, nothing, bro. So, and that. It really, for me, the Elijah McClain video was the last fucking straw for me. I didn't even watch that whole thing.
I didn't either.
And the Lord told me, turn that shit off right now, because you're going to go outside and do some shit.
Yeah.
But I don't understand. But,
it was an accident why I clicked on it. Whatever the caption was, I thought that it was something else. And then once the video started and I saw that the boy was in trouble, I wanted to know what was... I wish I never would have seen it.
But see, I still say, in spite of all that free speech is still a massively important aspect of a free and healthy society.
I agree.
And there was no allowance for debates relative to COVID. It was this is a single narrative.
Yeah.
Anybody that variegates from this narrative is a horrible, terrible person, blah, 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 blah. Then we started creating terms like the unvaccinated. So now we, and I was saying yo, I'm not on the side of the quote anti-vaxxers or whatever, but I'm I'm not a fan of creating this new term, the unvaccinated. And I remember them saying things like, yo, if you end up in the hospital and you're not vaccinated, we're going to let you die. I remember Michael Moore, Mr. He's supposedly a nice guy. You don't remember this.
No, I remember the other thing where you said they were going to let him die.
When COVID first hit, Michael Moore said that millions of people are going to die. And then he said, we're going to have to make some bad decisions. Triage. And you know what he said? He said, and this is when they were trying to come up with a vaccine. He said, what he would do is he would ask people if they believed in evolution, gay marriage, and abortion. And if they said no of any of those, they don't get a vaccine, is what he... So it just metastasized into this really ugly thing on both sides, but in reality, one side was a lot more aggressive than the other. The other side, to me, was kind of almost trolling to a degree, but there was one particular side, and I'm not talking about left or right, I'm just talking about this was the meta-narrative that was foisted upon the entire country. Mm-hmm. And it was yo, you're and there was real hatred. I remember I shot a Middle America video on it when I was talking about the hospital thing. People were yeah, you still there in the comment section. I'm yo, what is going on? Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, free speech is really important, but
it really does show where somebody's at. The Bible doesn't joke when it says that out of the mouth the heart speaks. So what's in your heart's going to come out your mouth, and you see it a lot in the hateful things that people say to each other. And the facts that people will not just say hateful things, but they will do hateful actions, or they'll go back around because it wasn't bad enough that somebody died. They're going to go back and mock the dead. What's happening with humanity? Where are you at that you could do something like that? And you put that shit on camera for people to see how horrible you are. Yeah. But you don't even realize how awful it is that you think, hey, let's do this shit. Let's go record that and put that up for everybody to see. That to me that person is really freaking dark. All those people involved in those situations, that's really fucking dark. That you were able to do those things without a conscience, without a fear, and you go and you blast that stuff out there. Like, fear didn't even stop you, but certainly, like, love of another human being didn't do anything. It's just crazy.
Yeah, and I think
And
Michelle hit the nail really on the head, where she said free speech is a responsibility and a gift. It comes with the understanding that each of us have a voice and a right to speak in public discourse, and yet there is a caveat that there are going to be those voices that preach hate, and they're allowed their right as much as we dislike their views. And that's the word to me, is responsibility, man. Like, I feel like collectively as Americans, we're collectively so childish. Like, I mean, we had Donald Trump as a president. Like, and again, I'm not blaming left or right for it, because CNN, MSNBC, they loved Donald Trump because of what it did for their ratings.
Oh, 100%.
So like,
yeah.
But we're just immature. We're all children. Like, we've got this great gift, like free, but it's like giving an 11-year-old a convertible. It's this amazing gift that's not common in the human family, but then we take it and we don't realize the power of using that speech to, like we were talking about yesterday in our family meeting, to create or to destroy. And that's why, like, during the whole George Floyd thing and all those things, I was telling all the people I knew that were closely related to the situation, do not look at the comment section, because that shit will drive you to strap up and, you know, whatever. So Kapazewski, I hope I pronounced his name correctly. Rest in peace to the homie. Let me just memorialize Kapazewski a little bit. Kapazewski lost his leg on deployment. Got a fake one. Came back, did 5 more punch outs, and then
what does that mean? Trips?
Yeah, deployments. And then he took his own life. So rest in peace. Rest in peace to Kapazewski. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name correctly, homie. It's hard out there. That's the other thing about speech. Like, you don't know who you're talking to and what that person has gone through, and especially with dudes on the internet. You know, like, I'm sure, you know, you get into forums with people, and you have no idea what's going on in their lives. And there's been times when, like, God's been like, do not delete that right now. And I don't always do it. You know, depending on where I'm at, I don't always do it. And you know me, I don't walk around with a lot of guilt, but I do walk around with, I wish I had that one back.
Really? Yeah.
I do. I wish I had that back.
You have a lot of those, or just a few?
Not a lot, to be honest with you. I'm pretty good. Like, when he tells me not to, I'm pretty good about that. But
yeah.
Yeah, rest in peace to Kapazewski, and you know, in 275, you make sure you keep yourself.
Yeah.
You keep your head, huh? Okay. I like the song. Really good start out. Freaking DJ Ben, man. This is a 9.4 for me.
Okay, the ending? There was some familiarity with the ending, right?
Oh, that ending, like, well, they just let the music swim, man. They let that music swim, and like,
it had that sort of heavy.
I missed that. Like, I just missed that. Like, you know, just give me like 40 seconds of just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we're writing that one. So remember that thing I showed you yesterday? I was like, oh, that was a mistake. I modified it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put any lyrics in there. It was just gonna, because it's got the.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good. You can like do.
I think you have to have that in a song. Like,
yeah.
Not all.
Yeah, this is a really good song. 9.2. What'd you give it?
9 even.
9 even. Okay. We are on the way back, DJ Ben, our newest DJ. More songs on the way. Rest in peace to Kapazewski. You're gonna see him again 275. I guarantee you that. Ben out.
Sorry out.
Gone. I'm Ben.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. Sorry says 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the lines. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at instory@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village. Facebook.com/Ben-Baer. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Story and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. A child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Right now, though, we're going to give you guys an opportunity for something really cool.
Yes.
I think it's really cool. I don't know. It's up to you guys.
Yep.
But before that, we have something even cooler than what we have planned, and it's
Bolt thrower.
Bolt freaking thrower.
Salvo is the name of the song.
Salvo's the name of the song. The name of the DJ, you haven't heard of this DJ before. It's DJ Ben.
Shout out to Ben.
DJ Ben.
Not Ben Webb. It's not Web Week.
It's not Web Week. This is DJ Ben.
DJ Ben. Actually, you can say his last name too because he's got it all out there.
He's in the chat. He's been officially matched down.
Yeah, there it is.
All
Oh yeah,
right.
did you click him so he'll go up there?
Here we
Okay,
go.
so he said from their final album commemorating the Great War entitled "Those Once Loyal."
Those once loyal. What? I thought the name of the song was Salvo.
Salvo, but from their final album commemorating the Great War entitled "Those Once Loyal."
Gotcha. Okay, all right.
Okay, another old school death metal song.
Oh yeah, is there a little intro for that from him, or
No, it was just that. He just wants that read.
All right, here we go, guys. Salvo.
But the name of the song is Salvo.
Bolt thrower.
The album is The Great War.
DJ Ben, Vin and Sori. Let's go.
Well, those ones loyal.
Holy shit.
One step closer to oblivion. Abandon life, the price to pay.
Damn.
Final sacrifice, listen to the grave. There is no time to run or hide. No time to play. They got a female bassist.
Huh, cool.
Bassist.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mankind's legacy, past night
Jesus, fucking miserable. Bolt thrower salvo.
Yes. Okay.
That was a freaking miserable. What was that, World War One or World War Two?
You know what? I don't remember if he said the Great War. Is what it said. The Great War. I guess that could be a lot of them. Hold on, let me pull up my lyrics here. Wow. It was. I didn't. Apologies. I only watched a little bit of the video. I just didn't want to see all those people like that in that situation. So, I watched the lyrics over here. I think that war is it's a sad concept. It's sad that things have to get that violent for people to change or alter their behavior. Or I guess it's sad that we would be willing to kill other people for monetary gain, whether that's oil or whatever. Like, I think that's. Well, I don't know exactly which war we're talking about here. Why what that one was. Oh, World War One. Here comes Middle with information. He always knows.
Well, yeah, that was called the Great War.
Okay.
There was something
you can tell
that
I hated history.
There's something that he said though.
Well, what word we can command?
Here it is right here. Mankind's legacy, past knowledge saved, glory not given, respect is made. Mm-hmm. And, like, I think relative to, like, the people who send young men off to war, what their motivations are, absolutely, it's money, blah, 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 blah. But for a lot of young men,
the reason that they go,
it's just about the glory of jihad. I mean, I hate to say it that way, but it's, you want to test yourself and see what would I do in that situation. Like, it's just a part of a lot of. It's in the DNA of a lot of dudes. Not every dude, but there's a lot of. And you see it with the kids, like you see like a guy like Reza or Johan, like they want that contact. You know what I'm saying? They want that contact, and they want that challenge.
Reza's 2, Johan's 14, but they're like the exact same with that contact. They want it.
Yeah, and Reza's like, yo, Daddy, let's fight.
Yeah, he always wants to fight.
Let's fight, and he's he's swinging his little fist and all that, and he wants to take on
Yeah.
And or like when we're watching Cobra Kai and shit, and then Dorian and everybody like and it's crazy because like sometimes we'll get busy. I remember the first time like you saw like us fighting and stuff, and you were like,
I thought it was like disrespectful. I'm like, how you gonna let him? Because you like your eye went off for a second, and as soon as your eye went off for a second, he went smacked you across your face. I was like, yo.
Yeah, hit me. Yeah, but that's you should have had your hands up. Keep your hands up at all times. It's the
My
first
thing
thing
was,
they tell
but
you.
your
Literally
parent,
the
you should probably just tap.
Yeah, we were fighting though.
I know.
You know what
I
I'm
understand
saying?
that now. I didn't understand it then, and I hadn't seen that. Now I realize like most or lots of boys need that contact, especially and I especially the male contact, like wrestling or fighting with dad. Like if I was a single mom, I'd go down there and try to wrestle around with them, but that it is not the same as being able to wrestle dad and the energy that comes out when I see you guys all. And there's no like whenever they what is that? Are you ready? What is that on?
That's Korn. Blind.
No, that wasn't the thing.
But we use Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, it's Mortal Kombat.
We turn on Mortal Kombat.
Right.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Then he goes fight, and then that's the bell when he says fight. Then we just go in there and
push everything back in the living room.
Push everything back in the living room, and Dorian tries his jujitsu, and he puts his jujitsu up against my taekwondo. We'll see what happens. But I don't even care anymore because he's bigger than me. He's taller than me. He's got more reach than me, so I don't feel bad for him. Whatever happens to him happens to him. But yeah, I mean, look, it's I know like and I know like if there were certain people with certain viewpoints that saw what was happening in the middle of the living room, there'd be all this, but I just remember growing up as a kid, like I always wanted contact. I was playing football. I always wanted contact. And like my friends on defense, like we like initially I wanted to be on the offense. You know what I'm saying? Because like but then when I tried out being a linebacker and you could just pick people up and ram this thing around and shit, like because that was when football was like football, like
yeah.
So like get him animal. I just pick the dude up and slam him on his head and then everybody comes to you and is like,
God, if that was my kid, I'd be like, what?
Yeah.
And if I'm the parent of either one, the one that picks up the kid and slams him on the head or the one that gets his head slammed, I'm not good with either one of those.
Oh, my mom.
What did your mother do?
Oh, that's right, baby.
What?
Go on.
Babe, is it not like as serious as what I'm picturing? Like, could you have seriously injured this child?
I mean, we were kids playing football.
Well, I know, but I don't know how old were you? I don't know what it looked like. You said you dropped this kid on his head.
I dropped him on his head. But like, anybody that's ever played organizational football, like, you get hurt every single game. You're hurt every practice. You're hurt every game.
Really?
Every game. It's impossible. What do you mean? You're running into each other as fast as you can.
I never saw people play sports like that.
See what I'm saying? Like,
no.
You're going, hey, what's up, Emily? You're going like all out. But my point is like, that line right there, glory is not given, respect is made. It doesn't matter what context the dude is in. Mm-hmm. Like French Montana, one of the worst rappers in the world. Mm-hmm. That's how I get wet. Fuck money, I was dying for my respect. He's like, I was dying for respect. Mm-hmm. Like, that's gunplay, dudes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
it's jihad.
I've seen like groups of guys where, yeah, absolutely, they had jihad in their heart. But I've also seen whole groups of guys that they're not like that.
Well,
they don't want to do anything.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I I agree. I agree. There's lots of dudes like that.
Like, I remember I was talking to this couple.
Those are the dudes that are running our country. The dudes that are running the country are not like that. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead. What were you saying?
I was working with this couple. They were trying to work on their finances, and they were like, they couldn't do anything because the amount of money that they were making, the amount of money they were spending, they were spending more than they were making. You can't live like that. So something's got to give. You know, I was sitting like, we had this whole conversation with the man sitting right there at the table saying, this is the budget. And I was like, well, is there any way, we could get more income? I'm trying to but he had no interest in working. I mean,
well, yeah, there's some dudes that they don't care about honor or whatever. Some dudes don't have the male ego. And there are other dudes that, but it's not even...
He'd fight over bitch shit too.
You just want to test yourself to see what you would do in the most extreme situation, and if you could come through. You know what I'm saying?
That makes total sense.
And it's unfortunate. Yeah. It's unfortunate that people end up having to, die in order to prove that point. Mm-hmm. But as I said, that's the reason that sports gets invented, because men need to find some way to ventilate that. Some men need to find a way to ventilate that energy in a way that you can go to war and test yourself and people not end up dead on both sides.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, I understand there's certain sports that are violent. And I talk about this all the time, the back and forth, like with football, for example. Football is an extremely violent sport. DeMar Hamlin almost died a couple weeks ago. Saw that live. Although that one has a big asterisk, but it's an extremely violent sport, and like I said, you're hurt every single day, every practice, every game, you're hurt. So, or you get hurt, but you're not hurt, but you get hurt. If that makes sense. So, but that line was just crazy to me, because when you juxtapose what he's saying here with the pictures of these videos of these guys shooting each other, killing each other, bodies just be, when people die wholesale, it's one of the most disgusting things, because they're just, it's a sickening, I don't know. So it's weird, that contrast of these dudes, most of them went off to war for that reason. They didn't get drafted into World War One. When we saw All Quiet on the Western Front, in the beginning, all these kids were in the school and they were all like, yay, it's going to be a great war. It's going to be fun, Like that famous quote in the Spanish-American War, it's going to be a glorious war, all types of shit. And there are some people that do that shit.
That's how it affects them.
That's how it affected them. They were like, man, it was glorious. It was great. I wish I could do it again, blah, blah, blah. There are dudes like that. And there are other dudes that are, fucked up over it. I got a friend, they didn't lose anybody, which is extremely, extremely rare. They didn't lose a single person, and they were in combat a lot, but they didn't lose anybody. But, he was in an SMU, and I would much rather, I'll tell you this, I would much rather be in an SMU than a regular grunt getting blasted up by IEDs, all types of shit. There's a sense in which those guys are a little bit safer, but yeah, they didn't lose anybody. So his perspective was, it was great, it was fun.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you're still killing other human beings. So whether it fucks you up,
they're bad. Yeah, I hear you.
Whether it fucks you up because you killed your people on your team, died, or you're still, at the end of the day, you participated in war. I would think that everybody that participates in war, unless you had some kitchen job, you're gonna be fucked up from that. How can you kill people and see bodies without it having a deleterious effect on a human being?
It depends. It just depends.
Well, no, I'm saying even with the guys that are like, I'd do it again, that if it didn't affect me, that to me says there's already a problem. You can participate in war and be completely good with it and just say it's all glory. It can't be all glory. There's people getting killed. And how often is it just clean kills where it's that was a definitively bad guy and everybody feels good about killing that person? You know what I'm saying? There's No, I haven't watched enough, war documentaries.
It depends.
It makes sense to me that.
It depends, but I'll say, like, you could say that a person who is addicted to the endorphin rush that happens in those situations, that's impossible to replicate. You could say that's a mental health, that is an issue. But he's looking at it as, I know a lot of guys that got PTSD, nightmares and shit. I know people that we saw it yesterday. The guy was dreaming about bodying all these people and he liked the dream. But again, there's got to be context. Did those people kill his friends? Did the leader of that little crew send a mentally retarded kid into a souk and detonate a fucking suicide vest so he killed a whole bunch of people? And you're doing collection and you're picking up these kids' teeth in the market. You're trying to dig this guy's teeth out of a wall. But his teeth...
what collection? What's that?
His body. You can't just leave his body there. So, like, these explosions happen. It's horrible. Like, one time the guy's
I never thought about
teeth were, God, like, in the building, like, part of the building, like, because the force of the... So, there's a lot of shit. So, if you see stuff like that, or they killed your friend, or they made some video, because these guys make videos on anything, and a lot of times American media doesn't show it, but they do a lot of horrible shit. So you see that shit, you're like, okay. And it's just like I said in the previous song. Like, if somebody did that to my son, I would absolutely put him in the ground 100%. And I wouldn't feel bad about it. I'm telling you, right? I wouldn't feel bad about it.
Yeah, but whether or not you feel bad about it, it's still going to have an effect on you as a human being. You're saying no?
I don't know.
I feel like if it doesn't have an effect, that says something else, right? I mean, this is not healthy for us to be sending kids and young adults off to these wars where they're going to be seeing all these things and participating in all this stuff. Like, that's going to have an effect on our kids and our kids' kids. Generationally, like, people that participate in wars, the PTSD, all the different stuff that goes along with it, and then those people live out their lives and they have children, and then that affects their children, and then you know what I'm saying? Like, it does have its effect, whether or not the person feels like it affects them. I would think, I mean, I'm just talking from even a Christian, I'm talking from a Christian standpoint. Right. If you're made in the image and likeness of God, you're supposed to be bringing goodness to the world, and you're bodying people.
It's impossible not to be affected by that at the meta level. I'm just saying about the individual act of dispatching that particular person. How you feel about that specific individual depends. A lot of it depends on the context.
The situation, for sure.
The context. You see what I'm saying? So, like, if you saw me with a gun in a dude's head, you'd probably be like, Vin, don't do it. But then, like, if you saw a video 5 minutes prior where he raped a bunch of 5-year-olds, you'd probably take the gun from me. You see what I'm saying? So, sometimes I wish, like, I told a friend of mine I was like, I wish we had a war like World War II where there was, like, a definitive bad guy.
Yeah.
And they were declared combatants. Like, okay, you're on that side, you're German. We're on this side, we're allies. You know, this whole thing where, Vietnam guys had to deal with it, like the little Cambodian rice farmer kid, and he's just doing his little rice thing, and then he turns out to be a kamikaze guy, It's all crazy stuff. But like for example, that Gallagher guy.
Who?
Gallagher. So he was in Iraq.
Yeah.
And
can you give me something else?
He's
that
fighting
will
ISIS. I never told you the story.
Oh,
he was in Iraq.
Okay. All right.
He's in Iraq, and they were taking out ISIS, which ISIS that group in particular is like good. Because their job, people don't understand what ISIS was trying to do. Their eschatology was that the whole world was supposed to come against them, and then that would initiate the apocalypse.
Okay.
So their entire the theological psychology was, we've got to incite people to get so angry at us that the whole world comes after us. So they were doing the most insane things to try to get people.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So anyway, Gallagher is there. They're taking these guys out, and then one of them is he's about 14, 15 years old. Couldn't have been bigger than Dorian. Dorian was bigger than him. I can show you the. And long story short, he was dying. He was bleeding out, and he's on the radio. He's like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "Just leave him." Anyway, Gallagher shows. You see it on the video. He starts treating him, and he's like shoving his hand out of the way. He's not being very helpful to this kid. He doesn't want. He wants it. He's just doing what he's supposed to do because that's protocol. And
why did we do that?
And then the kid ended up dying anyway.
Yeah. Why did we do that? Because wait, you were saying that we were fighting them.
He was giving him medical help.
Right, but
he was helping him.
But they were the opposite side.
He's the enemy. Yeah, but you know, Geneva Convention. Because at that point, he's no longer a combatant. He's no longer a combatant. So now
yeah, but if you heal him, he's going to be a combatant again.
No, he's not, because he's in your custody. You're now responsible for that guy. So you can't just. But anyway,
does that come from our Christian?
I mean, Geneva Convention, yeah, I'm sure, but the kid,
because it doesn't really make any sense. Like
what ended up happening,
militarily.
What ended up happening was the kid died, and then dudes started taking pictures with him, because that's what people do.
Oh my God, that's right.
Look, as I told you about that dude that's drinking his thing from Saddam's glass. Like I understand it's crazy, but it's just like like in college basketball, when you finally win, you go to the other team's net and you cut down their net.
They do?
Yeah, and it's kind of like, it's just,
yeah.
David kills Goliath,
yeah,
and he takes his sword. That's the culture. People don't get it, I understand. But
yeah, but taking the sword, that's
different. They put that dude, they jammed that dude up, put him in the brig, fucking, of course, CNN, MSC, this guy's a war criminal, blah, 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 all types of shit, yeah. And, the command wouldn't stand up for him, and everybody knows who's been in those contexts that shit happens every day. It's like, let that fucking guy die, and then we'll take his shit and take some pictures with him, and then we'll exchange. It just, that's that you're calling people.
That's the culture.
To do the least human. You're calling people to temporarily forget about their humanity.
That's exactly
right, because
exactly.
I got you cited up. I'm gonna
you can't put people in that situation and expect some.
Put a 50 on a technical, that fucking splits a guy it's not even it's not even. So it's like you're telling these people to go to the deepest aspects of their darkness in order to do this thing for this country,
and then come out unscathed.
But
right,
then,
exactly.
But
it's
then
not practical.
In the middle of war, this guy's now supposed to go, oh, well, this guy's a patient now. He's not a combatant. So I'm going to handle him with kid gloves, and then we're going to give him a nice, burial with the taps and the 21 guns. Ridiculous. But it's war. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I think people do that at this side of it so that we can convince ourselves that we're good people. We're good guys. And that Gallagher, he's a bad guy. He's not like us. He doesn't represent us. Yes, the fuck he does. Yes, the fuck he does. But we want to put this guy and say he's horrible, say all this, say they're war criminals and all that. And there are some people who are war criminals, okay? Mm-hmm. But, and I'm not even talking about the, I was just following orders thing. I'm talking about, it's not even about just following orders, right? This kid is a combatant. Mm-hmm. He belongs to a group of people that rape girls, sell them in public. Little girls, shout out to Muhammad. And, I'm supposed to give this guy A1 medal. Get the fuck out of here!
Yeah. Oh, so, I know.
So this song, this band, man, whew, this band is pretty crazy because they're and the sound that this band had, because there was some tremolo in there, but it wasn't the traditional black metal tremolo, and there was just this theme. I think, let me see, 275 talked about it, where he said basically the sound. Sound of bolt. There you go. Bolt Thor is the sound of tanks churning across a field, guns roaring, the sound of space marines firing bolters into the eye of chaos.
Wow. Okay.
That's pretty much what I was feeling with that sound. You almost didn't even need that video to communicate that essence, because I was just feeling that. And shit was just, it was just I almost felt like, I don't want to say trip, but I was exhausted just watching that shit, because that's the other thing about warfare too. It's evolved so much that, man, it's just miserable. Yeah. They're just cold. They're out there in Europe. Shit is crazy, man. Horrible situation. rest in peace to everybody.
Yeah, I think
that guy's.
You know what? I'm also talking from. We were watching this guy's story, his war story, and well, it actually wasn't his war story. It was actually his journey with was it DMT?
Yeah. He's 5-MeO DMT.
But he has a military in his background, and like when he got to that point, and he was like, because he was talking to his wife, he was telling his wife the story of when he went to had this event, and when he was talking about it, and he was like, he said he told the guy after just like a really short amount of time, which was unbelievable, like all the things that he did that he felt bad for. And like, just like when he was saying it, like, oh man, my heart just like, because he didn't tell us what the details were. He just said he told the other guy. But when he said it, like you could tell like in his eyes, like whatever it was, it fucked him up, and he wished that he wished that there was a way to kind of fix that. And I think that having that realization while he was on the DMT trip, when you're realizing like the reality of everything, or how, like, what the value, I guess, of things really is, like when everything's coming back into perspective, and then he had that, like he told the other person like what it was, like the stuff that bothered him. But like just seeing his face, I was like, wow, we've done this to so many. Like at the end of the day, like why walk around free because somebody else is walking around with some trauma from the stuff that they participated in. And yeah, maybe they went there for the glory, but at the end of the day, it resulted in my freedoms. So,
it's a very strange paradox about life that in order for people to be free, people have to die. It's just unbelievable.
For now, that's the paradigm. But that's because we haven't found a better way,
Yeah.
There is, I mean, obviously we know it's gonna flip. It's not always gonna be like that. It's not always gonna be to save life, you have to take life. It's not gonna be like that. But
yeah, but that's again one of those things that makes the Jesus thing so compelling to me, because it's like, yeah, in order for us to be free from all this shit, he had to die.
Right.
And it's just a principle.
Right.
And that's why that cross is always so compelling to me. Mm. I think I've always had a real morbid fascination with death and dying, and yeah, interesting stuff.
Mm-hmm. I think you have too, actually.
Huh?
From what I've seen, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Maybe we all do to a certain degree. We just like it manifests differently. Like for us, I'd be like, what would you do if when I died, blah, blah, and you're like, don't do those things, I don't like them. But like, maybe we all have different weird ways of dealing with the concept of death.
That's true. That's very, very true. 9.2 again for me.
8.3 for me.
All right, guys. I don't know what 40K is, so somebody's going to have to explain that to me in the comment section. DJ Ben on the way. Sit tight. We've got more songs on the way. Vin out.
Story out.
Gone. We shall return. I'm Ben.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sorry says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at sorry@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft. What? Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Ben There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. A child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener.
The Ben stream in progress.
The Ben stream in progress. 3 ways to die, because we are listening to...
Death metal.
Death metal.
Yes, we are. All right, so the first section we did was old school. Now we're moving into prog. First 2 songs from Opeth's Still Life concept album, which has received no love thus far. Before starting the reaction for the first Opeth song, look at the cover and the title of both the songs and guess what they're about from your perspective.
Okay, look at the cover.
He didn't give us the cover, so you're going to have to look at that up. So the first 2 songs from Opeth's Still Life concept album. So Opeth's Still Life concept album. Boop.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Death metal. No!
Okay, here it is. Oh, this crying lady.
Okay.
There's a cross back here.
Is that the Blessed Mother?
I don't know.
Maybe it's
or Mary
Mary
Magdalene. Remember when wasn't it Mary Magdalene that went to the grave?
Yeah, she was the one that got the body.
Yeah.
Or wanted to try to
What's
get the body.
Okay. All right.
That's inside the thing. Yeah, so there's a actually just send me the thing so everybody can see it.
Oh yeah, okay. Do you want both?
Yeah, send that one. Okay, so this is Opeth. The name of this song is, we're doing 2 Opeth songs, right?
Yeah, but we're just doing one at a time. So.
The name of this song is The More. The More, from the band Opeth.
This is a live version, actually, so hopefully it doesn't get blocked.
Yeah. I don't believe we're gonna get blocked, guys.
Yeah, so we're gonna take this chance because I think
we gotta take the chance. It's the first DJ Ben. We gotta take the chance. Okay, so if we get blocked for this video, just hang out for 2 minutes. We'll be right back. Look at the chat. We will be in the chat. We're still here. Sometimes because we don't cut the songs like other reaction channels, and by the way, shout out to other reaction channels, but because we don't cut songs, the reason reaction channels cut songs is so that they don't have to deal with the copyright stuff, right? And they can. You mean
people want to work and get paid for it?
Yeah, they want to get all the ad money. We don't get any of the ad money, but that's okay.
No ad money for us.
No ad, but we got Patreon and stuff like that, so it's all good. But my only point in saying that is because we don't do that, sometimes the record labels will cut the song. So if that happens, we are not being shut down. We're not leaving. Stay for 2 minutes.
Just hang around.
You'll be fine. Okay, here we go. Opeth, The More. Let's do this shit.
Wait, did you guess? Pause it. You didn't guess.
We did. I said it was Mary Magdalene.
Oh no! What? Well, it said. Guess what they're about from your perspective. So you think? Okay, so you think it's Mary Magdalene? You think that the song is about that? The
titles of both of the songs.
It's The More and
Godhead's Lament.
Yeah.
Well, Godhead's Lament. Godhead, from a Christian standpoint, is about the Trinity. Amor is interesting though, because Amor is that's what those black Muslim folk, like in what do you call it? It's a Shakespearean play. I forgot the name of the Shakespearean play, but the main character was Amor, and he ends up. Yeah, Moor. Moor.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's like a black Muslim dude. You know what I'm saying?
I'm seeing land. Yeah, that's all I ever knew. Attractive open land preserved for shooting. It's a black Muslim guy. You're saying?
Well,
right here?
Moor. Yeah. So that's.
This?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Story of the Moors in Spain. Okay, all right, yep. Oh, okay.
No, it wasn't Macbeth. It was Othello. Middle Earth was wrong and Dustin was right. Holy shit. Yeah, it was Othello. It was Othello.
Oh no.
It was Othello.
Good job, Dustin.
Black dude. But they might be talking about like your definition of Moor.
Yeah, but Godhead's Lament. No, I'm leaning your direction. I think that it sounds like it's going to be about, like, the death of Christ.
Well,
Godhead's Lament, and you've got her with the cross in the background. That's just... that's,
obviously, yeah.
That's what we're getting. I mean, that's what I'm getting. So.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Let's check it out, and we'll see if we're correct. So
well, I gotta
there's Ben just sitting there laughing at us. He's probably like, those idiots, this is actually about...
ice cream.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So I've got the lyrics now, so we should be in good shape.
I too am gonna bring mine up.
What, you two are gonna? Oh, he's got a lot of lyrics on this one. Okay.
All right, let's see what this is all about.
Well, hold on. Let me get these lyrics done.
Babe, this is Opeth. There's always a lot with Opeth.
I know. Let's see. All right, here we go, guys. Opeth. The More. Let's go. Let's go. That'll wake you up. Opeth.
Wow.
The More. Opeth the More, dear listener.
Not what I thought the song was going to be about. Interesting.
So it wasn't about a black Muslim dude?
No, it wasn't from... a man from the Moor from Spain or something. No.
So what did you think it was? A Moor, like what, the ground?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I actually didn't pay attention to like the Moor line, but like just the Moor title. I assumed that it was just like a land, and he left for 15 years.
Romero, the name of this band is Opeth.
Right.
Opeth is the name of the band. The name of this song is The Moor from the album Still Life. Mm-hmm. There you are, dear listener.
So it sounds like this guy was born and he didn't have any faith. I was foul and tainted, devoid of faith. Wearing my death mask at birth. The hands of God decrepit and thin, cold caress and then nothing. I was taken away from my plight, a treason bestowed to the crowd, branded a Jonah with fevered blood, ungodly freak, defiler. It sounds like he left because he was an atheist. He said devoid of faith.
Yeah, but he's branded a Jonah. That's a pretty interesting... This is the thing to me about these metal bands.
Because he left.
They know...
a lot of Bible.
They know their Bible.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people know what that means. And this tells me that he's not an atheist. Completely.
Right, I agree.
So here's the story. Sure. Oh no! I didn't feel ridiculed. I like those challenges. As a matter of fact, I wish more of you guys would say.
I didn't feel ridiculed at all.
Not at all.
I thought it was funny.
I actually wish more people would say, like, guess what the song's about.
Yeah.
Because you know, like.
I would absolutely do that if I was going to have people do a song.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be having them guess all kinds of stuff. I would be doing it to ridicule them, maybe.
Yeah.
It would be funny to see their answers.
You idiot!
They think they know everything.
You dumb butt!
Okay, so yeah, no, we're good. We're all good.
Oh, no, we're all the way good.
Yeah.
We're all the way good. I'm having a lot of fun.
So, are you getting that too? The sigh of summer upon my return, 15 alike since I was here. So 15 years he's gone.
For 15 years.
Bathed in deep fog, blurring my trail, snuffing the first morning rays, weary from what might have been ages, still calm with my mind at peace. Would I prosper or fail or fall? Drain the past, the lapse of the moment took its turn. Then that's where I thought he didn't have any faith, and that maybe that's why he left. It is weird that they called him a Jonah, though. Because Jonah, yes. I mean, if you're familiar with it, a lot of people understand that Jonah was, swallowed by a whale, as some people say, or in the belly of a fish. But what a lot of people don't know is that there was a group of people that Jonah particularly really hated. And God told Jonah, go to those people and tell them that if they don't repent, which means recognize that they're doing something wrong and turn from it and do the opposite. He said, go to them and tell them, warn them, because if they don't change from their ways, God said, I'm going to destroy them. It's going to be over. And so Jonah did not want to warn them because he said, look, basically in the Bible, in the story as it progresses, he basically says, look, I didn't want to tell them to repent because I knew that they probably would. And that you probably, he's talking to God. He's like, you would end up forgiving them.
I know you're gracious and merciful.
And I don't want that for them because he hated those people so much. So instead, he took off somewhere else. But I don't think I feel like that, I
think they're calling him a Jonah because he probably left the faith in their mind.
But he was saying, I never had it to begin with.
Well, I'm not sure.
You don't think that's what he's saying? Because
I was foul and tainted, devoid of faith, wearing my death mask at birth, the hands of God, decrepit and thin. So that to me is kind of indicating
cold caress and then nothing.
Right. So it looked like there was a progression.
He had a little bit.
It looked like there was like a progression where it was like that God's hand was thin and decrepit.
Wait, what?
Like thin and decrepit.
Yeah, like God could not save him.
Yeah,
he was just weak. God was weak with him.
It looks like a metaphor of like his faith beginning to wane. See what I'm saying? It's like God's hands become brittle and then it goes to nothing. Mm-hmm. I think that's metaphorical of. It's kind of like that whole famous Michelangelo picture where they're trying to touch the hand or whatever.
Yeah.
I think like that's kind of like the illusion. Like he had been losing his faith in God, and then I think he woke up one day and said, "I don't believe this shit anymore." But then if you're, I don't know, I'm assuming this is a small town.
Well, look what it said: a treason bestowed to the crowd. I was taken away from my plight, a treason bestowed to the crowd.
Yeah.
So that means everybody was told about.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's the dynamics of small towns.
Branded a Jonah with fevered blood.
Right. It's there's all the talking and the gossiping and all this person. So
honestly, that's one of the reasons why the Bible says you're not supposed to gossip.
Yeah.
Stuff like this.
It's the main reason.
Yeah.
It's the main reason you're not supposed to gossip. But
right.
So, look, if the guy stops believing, he stops believing. I don't understand. Like, why? I mean, wouldn't you want him, like...
To be honest, you can talk...
To
well,
be
what
honest
happened?
about where he's at. Like, I remember one
right.
time, it was a couple years ago, divorce just happened. The kids had been through all types of shit. And I'm playing Fortnite with one of them. They're like, I don't believe in this shit anymore, bro. And I was like, yeah, I got you. Mm-hmm. I get it. And I just kept playing Fortnite. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, it's like,
yeah. People,
if you truly believe this stuff, if you really believe this stuff, that there's a God and a Jesus and a Holy Spirit and stuff like that, like I just said to myself, like, I don't love her more than God loves her. So why am I going to panic and then start like doing all types of crazy shit to manipulate her? You know what I'm saying? Because God knows more than me.
Yeah.
God loves more than me, and God is stronger than me. So there's nothing that I could do to change that situation that God wouldn't do better than me.
Right.
So like the way that, but I think that here's
100%.
Here's what I'm convinced. I am convinced that not a lot of people are really, really convinced about their faith, and that they're like 60% convinced about their faith, and then when they see other people sharing that same faith, it makes up the 40%. So when you see somebody say, man, this shit ain't real, what are you going to do with that 40% now? So because of that, we're going to attack you. We're going to do all types of crazy shit to either blackmail you to coming back wherein I can get my 40%, or I'm going to turn everybody else against you. And now my 40% is not about, affirming Christianity, but it's about dissing this guy. And in a wraparound way, you still get to say, okay, I'm on the right team. Because the guy that left, he took a chunk out of that 40% of belief, but he was a bad person. And I know he's a bad person because all these people are shit-talking him, and they wouldn't be shit-talking him if he was a bad person.
Gosh, okay.
So I really, truly believe that that's the psychology, especially when it comes to children. I think a lot of parents are very shaky in their own personal faith, and their children saying this is all bullshit scares them because they're not secure in their own faith. So when I heard Zoe say that, I just kept playing the video game, man, because I'm like, and if you know Zoe, like she was like, she writes worship music, she sings all that stuff. So it was pretty hard to hear that. But at the same time, I'm like, what did you expect? I mean, you couldn't make the marriage work, and she's hurt. So, and she believes in God, and she's like, oh, God is so important. Why did he let this happen? Right. Blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And you know me, I never lie to kids. So I'm like, listen, God was not surprised by this. I mean, God's got a plan. And, however people want to say that has some pretty insane implications. But I was just so convinced that God was gonna, and they're all good now, and they're going to do a Bible study, maybe a family Bible study after to compromise the situation. Probably do some Genesis stuff. Okay. So like our kids they have their own individual spirituality. None of their spiritualities are the same. Right. But I think that's because we've both been able to do a good job of giving them that space. But it looks like this dude didn't get the space.
I think the part that's
that's
really
why he had to leave. He had to leave because they wouldn't give him the space to doubt.
It was intolerable, I think. You know, like, come on.
Yeah.
Well, he said, the part that makes me sad is he said, the way that he describes himself and having interactions with Christian people, and that the Christians, like, because he says, I was foul and tainted, devoid of faith, wearing my death mask at birth. And then he goes into talking about how he was viewing God, or like how he felt about God, that God's hands were, like you said, decrepit and thin, cold caress, and then nothing. Like the cold caress, well, a couple things. One is that the fact that he interacted or interfaced with Christians, and that Christians didn't, like, they made him feel so bad about this that he left.
He had to leave.
He said there was a cold caress and then nothing. he's not saying, I don't want anything to do with your God, like F him. He's not saying that. He's saying, like, there was like a little bit, like I had a cold, like it was a caress, but it was cold, and it was not enough. There was not anything there. And he probably needed somebody to talk to him and like talk through some things. Like there was a reason why he was feeling this way, but instead they made him feel like the words that he's saying, I was foul and tainted. I don't feel like he got those words from himself. I feel like he got that from the treatment that he got from the Christians.
100%.
Which is like, that's sad. Like that's our people. Like we're Christians. So anytime that we do something that ends up, like I believe that God is real, and I believe that if you're going to have something with God and you want something with God, then you're going to have it. And even though this guy didn't have it at the beginning and he had to do his 15-year Jonah experience, like I believe that at the end he's going to have God if he wants God. But in the middle of it, you know, like people need to listen to other people. There needs to be more compassion, like, and I don't understand these parents participating in this gossip and having it so your kid left.
Again, it's their own insecurity and the child's lack
it doesn't
of faith.
say that his parents did that, but at the same time,
but, I mean,
would somebody do something like
that?
He
doesn't say that he's an orphan though, right? So he's got parents, but you can, you know, there's nothing that'll convince a parent to sell out their child quicker than religion.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a fact. I mean, John chapter 10, the man born blind.
Uh-huh.
So this guy is blind from birth. Jesus shows up and heals the guy. Well, the religious elite did not like the message of Jesus. So they start interrogating this dude. And they're like, man, nigga, stop lying. You were never blind. Mm-hmm. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I've been on the side of the street every day. You've seen me. You've walked by me. I recognize your voice. I was blind. I'm the guy. So they don't believe him. So then they bring his parents in. And they're like, is this your son? They go, yeah, he's our son. They're like, was he born blind? They go, yeah, he was born blind. They're like, well, how is it he can see? And then they said, he's a grown man. Go talk to him. And then the text tells us they said that because the religious elite had decided that anybody that supported Jesus would be exorcised from the synagogue. Basically excommunicated, basically be made an outsider. So this guy's parents, think about this. Your son is 40 years old. He spent his entire life blind. And then from some freak miracle accident, whatever you want to call it, that's the happiest day of your life, right? Mm-hmm. That's when you and your son and everybody's celebrating. But look what religion did to that family. Instead of celebrating, they had to go into protection mode because they didn't want to get ostracized from the community. Mm-hmm. And so they left their own kid out to dry on the day that he got this amazing miracle. So, like, you're right. Like, the lack of compassion, like, as I said, there's nothing that's going to... But again, I truly believe a lot of this is rooted in insecurity. Like, one of my best friends texted, he said, most people treat their faith like they're stepping onto a pond just after the first freeze of winter. Very timid and shakily unsure. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then think about it. What happens when you go on the ice? You're very timid and you're very, you know, and I really believe that that's what's going on with a lot of these people and a lot of the ways that they I had another friend. He said people are addicted to judgment. Yeah. Because he used to be addicted to drugs, and then God saved him from that. But it's head from corn. I don't even know why it's head from corn. He got you know, he was on meth, almost died. God delivered him from all these drugs or whatever. But of course, he's not a Christian the way that a lot of Christians are comfortable with him being a Christian.
Certainly not. Yeah.
And so
they make sure he knows.
Yeah, he was just like, damn, dog, it's like these people are addicted to judgment. And it's like, fuck, that's a crazy line. But coming from an addict, you know, like he was, I could see how he could see those correlations. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing, like when people like decide they're no longer going to be part of your faith, they start seeing shit. Mm-hmm. Wait a second here. So a virgin had a child? That's crazy. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, Jonah, really? A guy got swallowed by a whale? Like, I was talking to one of my Muslim friends, you know, yesterday. I mean, God bless my Muslim friends, but they're like, Muhammad is the pinnacle of humanity, blah, blah, blah. because he was going after Paul. They were saying that Paul was horrible, but Muhammad was his pinnacle of virtue. I'm like, Paul died a broke martyr with his head chopped off and dumped into a mass grave somewhere. Muhammad, he had any woman that wanted to offer herself to him, he could have. The average Muslim man can only have,
including his adopted son's wife.
Yeah. But my point is, I said that I just went down a list of all, marrying a 6-year-old, having sex with a 9-year-old, having sex with his adopted son's wife, telling his followers that they could have sex with captured women in war and don't worry about pulling out because you can still sell them for good prices. Like, and I said, guys, unless you were born and raised in Islam, the minute you hear this shit, you're gonna there's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
But we have to understand that too, though.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, I'm aware of that.
Unless we were born and raised in this shit,
Yeah.
so to us, of course. But like, that's why I'm glad. Like I tell people all the time, like I had a failed attempt at apostasy in high school. You know what I'm saying? Because I tried and I would look at everything and different resurrection accounts. You know what I'm saying? Like, and my mom, she panicked. It's like one day her kid's like this, and then the next day he's in all black. He's in black nail polish. He's listening to Cookie Monster death metal, all types of shit. But she never excommunicated me from the family. She said I was listening to devil music. We'd fight like cats and dogs. We always did. But she never she would always say, God has something for you. I was a miracle baby. All that stuff happened. Maybe I'll share the story. But she'd always be like, you're full of shit. Like, of all people that I know, you should be the most devoted to God based on what he did for you. And so, there were hard conversations, but I was never excommunicated from my family. And there was another time when my mom got hooked up with a really good church that gave her really wise counsel, and she would always invite me, but I never went. She'd always encourage me, put letters on my bed, all types of shit. I never responded to them. I'd rip them up. I'd throw them in the garbage. I'd make sure I'd rip them up, throw them outside. Yeah, of course I read them. I'd rip them up and throw them outside my door so she could understand that, how I felt about all this bullshit. Yeah. And then when I had my breakdown, I ended up in the hospital. All that shit came in. All that shit was back in my head when I needed it the most. And that's the reason why when my kids say what they say, I give them that room, bro. Mm-hmm. Because my mom was planting that seed, and God knew when that seed needed to be activated. I did not need those words at that moment. I needed those words when I was in the hospital after trying to kill myself. That's when I needed them. Mm-hmm. And that's when that seed started to germinate with me. So, because I've had that experience, when people apostatize, my faith is just unshakable. I remember talking to one of my buddies. I'm going to find the video with him. He was an atheist. We were in the atheist chat. And he said, well, because I was saying I don't believe that a true Christian can ever leave the faith. Because Jesus has you in his hands. Mm-hmm. That's what he says. He says, I have all my sheep in my hand, and nobody can take them out of my hand. And nobody can take them out of my Father's hand. I and the Father are one. Right? John chapter 10?
Yep.
So I don't believe that if you're a real Christian that you could ever leave, because Jesus has you and you are not stronger than him. People go, you can jump out of his hand. Bullshit. Ridiculous. We're sheep. As the scripture says. Can you imagine? You imagine God gave Jesus 100 sheep, and then he shows up with 99 sheep, and God says, what the hell, man? What happened? And he goes, yeah, man, he just ran off.
Yeah, right. Ridiculous. Come on.
It's like, you're the shepherd.
I used to think that, though.
Duh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Get them. Right? So I don't believe. So I'm talking to this atheist. He's like, well, you're wrong, because I'm an atheist, and I used to be a Christian. I used to go to church. And Mark Driscoll, blah, blah, blah. I mean, he knew a lot of shit. And I said, well, either you had a lot of religion, or a year from now you're going to be a Christian again. Mm-hmm. Sure enough,
that's
within a year.
Wow, what made you say a year?
He's got a YouTube channel. He's got which just got monetized. Congratulations. It was just a fascinating discussion, because he's on a forum preaching atheism.
Wow.
And he was telling me, he's like, no, man, I'm not. And I'm like, well, theologically speaking, you're going to come back, or you were never in. Mm-hmm. And he's back. Enough.
Wow, that's great.
And he's out there doing work. I mean, he does more work than that I do on the internet with this stuff. So, you know, that's why I'm like, man, give people room, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, and some of it, honestly, is me minding my own fucking business, including with my own kids, because they're not my kids. So there's times when God's they're God's kids. They're God's kids, right? Yeah. So there's times when God's like, man, mind your business, man. Mm-hmm. Like, there have been times when God's like, mind your business, my kid. And on the outside, it looks like I'm letting him get away with murder or whatever, but it's not that. It's just that I genuinely believe this shit. I genuinely believe that God's in the house.
Well, that's the thing. At the end of the day, if you believe that there is a supernatural being that's superintending all of this, then we don't have to panic or worry, because he's working it all out. And that's what he said.
Correct.
He said, I'm working this all out for your good.
Correct.
So, you know.
Correct.
That's
and yeah, I got friends, and I want them to come to full faith and all that, but and I love them and I pray for them, and you know, but God, you know who you are, but God, I don't love them more than God does. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so that takes a lot of pressure off of me, you know. My role is just to play my position, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes the position is leave people the fuck alone.
No, we're for real, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There's one more lyric here that I want you to look at and tell me what you thought. So it said, pale touch writhing in the embers, or embers.
Writhing in the embers, yeah.
Excuse me. Then it said, damp mud burning in my eyes. I can't not see that and think, okay, when I read that part, I think about when Jesus, the guy was blind, he spits in the mud, he makes the mud, and then he puts it in the guy's eyes, and then when the guy washes it out, he's able to see. So he says, damp mud burning in my eyes. Like, I couldn't separate this from obviously the atheist discussion up here and how he was feeling. And so I wasn't sure if it was like, okay, so if Jesus put mud in your eyes but didn't heal you, then all you would have is the burning. But he never got you know what I mean? Like, he could never see.
That's funny. That's the John chapter 10 one. The guy was blind. He spit, made some mud out of it.
Oh, that is the John chapter 1.
That was John chapter 10.
Oh, I thought that was two different stories.
That was the man born blind, yeah. But instead of healing him, it's burning him.
Right.
Right? Like,
because all it is mud in your eye without
because like for some people Christianity is healing, but for some people it does not heal them. And there have been people that have had very hurtful experiences with representatives of God. And here's another one. There have been people who have been hurt by God. God hurts people. He does. It's true. That's why there's that line in the scripture, though he slay me, yet will I trust in him.
Yep.
Right? And you know, everybody knows what happened to Job, but at the end of the text it says, and Job's friends comforted him for all the trouble that God brought to Job. So the devil is an actor, the Sabaeans are actors, all these people are actors that fucked up Job's life, but at the end of the day, the author of the text, this is what I love about the scripture, because it's so brutally honest and philosophically consistent. The fact of the matter is, if God is all-knowing and all that shit happened to Job, then at some level, we gotta be very careful here, but at some level, Job's pain was part of God's plan. So I'm not going to oversimplify shit and say, oh, if you're hurt, it's the devil, and if you feel good, it's God. It's like, God has a plan, and suffering is part of the plan. We just had a child. You just had a child. Suffering was part of the plan. It's part of the plan. Yeah. And I'm not going to lie to people and be like, oh, God was, shit, holy shit, what's going on? We got to do something. That's not what's happening. There's a plan. Sometimes God hurts people. And that sometimes in your little timeline of life, sometimes you might be like, yo, I got a raw deal and I got nothing to say to you, bro. And that's, you know, that's where I was for a little bit. And that's where the kids were. And I think God's big enough to deal with that criticism. But a lot of insecure people in their religion are not big enough to deal with that. And that's where the problem is. Really, really, really good stuff, guys.
He went back there for love. For Melinda.
Yeah, that's the other thing, is that he's got this. I'm hoping, I'm not commenting on the Melinda thing because I'm hoping that that's going to get explicated more in part 2. But it looks like Melinda is the only reason he came back to this godforsaken town in the first place.
Perfect. Oh, I see. God Has All Men is. Well, that's right. That's his next song.
Yeah.
So we can kind of see.
Yeah.
What goes on there? Okay. So this, lyrically, I love the vulnerability You know,
Yeah.
This was, wow. This was really, really putting yourself out there, and I really, really appreciated that.
Good breakdown, Harper. Good breakdown of
What
Job.
did he say?
Andrew Harper had a good breakdown of Job. But go ahead.
Basically, God challenged the devil to try and break Job. Well, only rule was he can't kill him. Right, exactly. So yeah, like I like that. I liked that the lyrics kind of like they gave you enough context where you knew what was going on, but they didn't explain everything. So like, you know, I grabbed onto the damp mud burning in my eyes part, but pale touch writhing in the embers, I'm not sure what that is. So there's like a mystery and enough to understand where you can kind of like work with this song. So I really appreciated it. Plus I always feel like Opeth does these
I can't stand Opeth.
I know you can't, but I like them.
I cannot stand this band.
They always have like these breakdowns in there that are like, or I always feel like they're long, and I find them to be beautiful. I'm not sure how you feel about them. So
what?
The long kind of like where I don't think there's any singing. Like it's just kind of like a long sort of breakdown point, but it was very beautiful. It was toward the end.
Yeah. I can't stand Opeth.
Yeah, love that stuff.
Rate the song.
I'm gonna give this one a 9.3.
It's a 9.6 for me.
Oh wow!
I loved the intro with the. You see how he's playing guitar at the beginning?
Yeah.
That's like that second iteration in our song that it's the same shape on guitar.
Oh okay.
Unbelievable. And then the way they transitioned from that little interlude into the heavy part was like there was no transition. It was just boom, and it was like a splash of cold water. Like, wake up! This is a metal band. Let's go. I love that shit. There was no weird interlude of like 50,000 notes
it
and
was
four
relevant.
seconds.
Very
There's none of that
relevant.
shit. Like I felt like everything in that song was absolutely necessary, and if it wasn't in there, the song wouldn't work. That's how I feel about it. And a lot of times with Opeth, in my view, that's not true. In my view with Opeth, a lot of times, the song could have been 2 minutes shorter.
That's what you always say.
But this song, no. Like, it was exactly sonically where it needed to go. I actually like the sound more than the lyrics. So, I mean, we broke down the lyrics pretty in depth, but I actually liked the musicianship even more than the lyrics.
Wow, okay.
So yeah, 9.6 for a band that I
Yeah, and shout out to the homie. Shout out to the homie.
Riv is mocking the hell out of me now. Such a high rating for a band you hate, Vin.
We got high hopes for you. We have high hopes for the homie that the author of this.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, so we're gonna go check out the next song. So stick with us. We're gonna go into part 2 of this.
All
the next song on the album.
Godhead's Lament.
This means
all right, I'm gonna read that actually on the second part. Vin out.
Story out.
Gone. We shall return. More Opeth, dear listener. 3 Ways to Die. Vin is coming right back. I already did my sign off. What am I doing? I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sorry says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at sorry@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/VinandSorry. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sorry and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch at Dina, Chelsea.
So buy our merch. I thought about that guy when he put his birthday in the tattoo. Anyway, all right, you guys.
Dear listener.
Live stream in progress, and we are having a good time.
Progress. Three ways to die, dear listener.
Yeah, we had a new DJ tonight, DJ Ben.
DJ freaking Ben.
Yeah, he's interesting picks tonight. Okay, so the next up on the song is Opeth, Godhead's Lament, which, as you know, this is the second song on their album.
And Ben had said something about it, so I wanted to.
Okay.
People are saying that this might secretly be Ben Webb. I doubt it very highly, but let's see.
No, because Ben Webb wouldn't apologize for ridiculing us.
That's true. But you idiots! You deserve more ridicule!
Yeah, I hope you feel embarrassed.
Shout out to Ben Webb.
All right, go ahead. You're going to read something.
Shout out to Ben Webb. Gotta be the most miserable guy of all time.
Poor Ben.
Has to be.
Ben needs to repent and then get married.
100%. Reminiscent to me of Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane the night before his crucifixion, particularly the passages like Mark 14, 32 through 36 and 39, and Luke 22, 39 through 44. Damn, that's Gethsemane stuff. That's brutal situation. Let's see what happens sonically and lyrically with this jam. This is, I was going to say Harlequin Forest.
Well, you want to listen to it again?
No, I don't.
I'll play it tonight in the room. I'll put some candles on and play Harlequin.
I don't think Opeth wants to listen to Harlequin Forest again.
No.
That's how
it was a sad song though.
Horrible.
So,
yeah, I was very sad when I heard that song, especially when they kept going dun dun.
It was a
dun,
heartbeat.
Dun.
It was the heartbeat.
Dun dun for 2 minutes. Dun dun.
They wanted to feel it.
Opeth.
All right.
Godhead's Lament. From the
go.
Still Life record. DJ Ben, 3 Ways to Die. Let's do this shit.
Wow, what? Wow. That was a good one. That was a really good one. The transitions that it did, that section that you were like, yo, I like this. What type of music would that be considered?
A bass interlude. You know, that little part where it was like a, there's an interlude for the bass.
But it was definitely you're right.
The thing that kills me about Opeth and all these progressive bands is that they'll take like 2-minute sections of keyboard and 60 trillion notes and all that shit, and it's like it has nothing to do with the song. It has nothing to do with the song. But this, again, this is twice now that I don't know how long this song was. How long was this song?
I think this one was
6 minutes.
11 and a half, I think.
What? No. The first one was a 10 and a half, not this one. This one was like 5,
one was 10 and a half and one's 11 and a half. So either way, look at you now.
We just got done this one. 9 minutes and 43 seconds. That's a 10-minute song, basically. Yeah, you were right. Okay.
No, I was wrong. I thought it was 10 and a half. No, I thought this one was the 11 and a half minute one.
But again, like, for me, like, there's not a second wasted on this song.
It was really
Joseph,
good.
do me a favor. Send me an email, vintagestory@gmail.com. We can have a more, like, fruitful conversation. There's a couple people I'm having email conversations with about this topic. Also, guys, me and an atheist buddy of mine have started a channel. We'll be letting you guys know. There's been a lot of developments.
There's a lot of developments.
We got to really start shooting these update videos again for other people. But okay, I want to talk about the sonic element first. They did. This is something I didn't know about this band because I was too focused on how much time they waste showing us that they're guitar virtuosos. I don't know who the guy is, but somebody in that band has a really good singing voice. Now, what I'm about to say, I don't know if you're going to get it or not, but it's the perfect singing voice for this band's sound.
Oh, I agree.
Like, there are, like, for example, if you look at a lot of, like, what do you call that? It's one of those like the hair metal genres or whatever, like in the 80s, and everybody had to sing like at these high registers and all that. So like there are a lot of really good singers and a lot of really good bands, but the sound doesn't really match them. It's just you got really good guitarists over here, and then you got a really good singer over here. The closest I could come to explicating that even further would be Tool.
Yep.
Can you imagine if Maynard said, okay, I don't want to be in the band anymore? Somebody else being in that band?
No.
I just don't...
Fold it up.
I just don't see it.
Oh, no.
I don't see it.
Fold it up.
I don't see it. You see what I'm saying? Whereas this guy, his voice, whatever he's doing with his voice... Oh, you know what? I think Ben is right. I think you're talking about Dream Theater. That's another culprit band that does that. For 14 hours. Oh my god.
Yeah, but you've definitely felt that. That's what you've thought about Opeth. But it's
felt
true.
The same thing. But Dream
Ben,
Theater,
you were right. It has only been. I know Harlequin Forest you didn't like, and I remember there being one other one. I don't remember what the name of it was. But you have liked the majority of the ones you've heard. I mean, a band can put out one or two songs you don't like. It still could be there's something really great there. Because I think you're probably missing gold. Although the thing is, you're not going to go searching out Opeth songs anyway, because we're only going to listen to new stuff when we're on the channel, like live streaming. So.
Yeah, so exactly. Like,
so we get to see this journey.
I'm like religious about that. I will not listen to any new music. Like that Metallica can't all that shit. Like I haven't heard anything. A new Korn record came out. Didn't even get to listen to my favorite band. You know, my boys hit me up like, yo, what you think? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, my nigga, blah, 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 blah. Hey, let's talk about something else. Let's change the subject.
Let's talk about something else.
Shout out to Korn. Yeah, man, just sonically, this was just vocally. And the other thing, too, was I just felt like it was like the perfect balance between the heavy, the melodic, the technical, the
Yeah.
It just, all of it just worked so well together. And that vocalist was crazy to me, and there was like a lot of
yeah.
I wonder what that's called technically in music. I wish I knew.
I don't know.
But like the breathe singing. I mean, shouldn't I wish Perkinos was here. Perkinos would know.
Perk knows everything.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
you know who's really smart too, though? Vlad might know. Vlad, when people go ha and stuff like that in the song, like especially in the background, what is that? What is that called? What's that technique
and
called?
I always want to know when they're doing the when they do that over and over. I want to know what is that?
Yeah,
what is that called?
Yeah. I'm assuming it's probably the same thing, right? Like, okay. So sonically, I love this song. Music, like as a guitarist, it's called Beatlesque. As a guitarist, man, like that's Wackatory's in the house. Holy shit!
Hey! Oh yeah, you know, I think I'm midway through responding to your message. I am. I have it open. I just haven't responded to you. So.
Okay, so
we'll be in contact.
Okay, so lyrically, what did you think the song was about?
Okay, this one was less clear to me.
What?
I understand that he comes in there, but there was just like a lot of things that I wasn't. So, this first word, what?
Remember how we left off the second song, the first
Yeah,
song?
he had just come back. He hadn't met up with Melinda.
Right, but he ends him talking about Melinda, and I said, like, I'm not going to touch that because we're going to do another one, and I'm assuming Melinda is going to be, and we turned out to be right.
Yeah.
So I think it's about his relationship to her.
Yeah, but there was just stuff about it that I did. Okay, so this word actually means, the first word, marauder. How do you say that? Marauder. I guess that means like a raider.
Yeah, like a guy from another town that comes in,
pillages the soil, mist of
pillage the village, and then go. That's
right.
like a marauder.
And he's calling himself that?
Right, because remember, he had left. So for those of you who are only going to watch this single video, I encourage you to watch the first video. That's a little self-serving. But in the first video, it talks about this dude who is slowly losing his faith, and because of that, he had to leave his religious town. Mm-hmm. And so because he had to leave his religious town, he was basically an outcast because he didn't believe anymore. And that's not something you can control.
Nope.
And so they cast him out, and then he comes back. Like, the first song is him coming back. The second song, to me, this song right here, is, it looks like this is the reason why he came back was the girl. Because remember, he alluded at the beginning, at the end of the song, that he only showed up for her. So I'm assuming it's because he's gonna bite the bullet because he loves this girl. So he's gonna show up and, try to be with her, basically.
I understood that, but then it seemed like at the very end of the song, it was saying, where is it? Basically, like, she knew, like, no. Well, you know what? Let's just start.
Searching my way to perplexion, the gleam of her eyes in that moment, she knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knew what?
That he loved her, because he came back for her. Right?
Okay. So they're going to be together?
It looks to me like she knows. She knows why he came back. She knows what he went through. She must have saw everything that he went through. So for him to come back, and then when it says, when she saw,
that was at the bottom.
Where is that line? So when she sees that he's coming back, she knows that it's because of her. He truly loves her, because she's probably thinking, this dude has to really love me if he's gonna deal with all these people and all this shit to come back here to be with me. But
and then he's saying, like, well, what if they did care if I did stay? So he's not even sure if he can.
What would they care if I did stay? No one would know. What would they care if I did stay? No one should know. So I think maybe, like, thought I could not leave this place on this imminent day as I've reached the final dawn to what's gone astray. What would they care if I did stay? No one would know. What would they care if I did stay? No one should know. So I think, like, he's like, maybe he slipped in, like he didn't make a grand entrance.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He slipped in because he wants her.
Yeah, I think that's why he used the word raider too, right?
Marauder, yeah. Yeah, so he's like coming in secret. Although marauders are pretty
loud,
bombastic. I mean, it's, you can hear him coming.
When it says red eyes probe the scene, he's talking about his own eyes. All the same, stilted for the beholder.
Depravity from the core, hand-carved death in stone-laden aisles.
That's what I'm saying. There were so many lyrics that were like so beautiful when you like read them out, but I don't know what they mean. I don't know what he's saying there.
Okay, marauder staining the soil midst of the stillness. So it looks like because they're looking at him as a defiled. Where do I go to talk to you guys? Send me an email, Joe. And
vinandsory@gmail.com.
Yeah, vinandsory@gmail.com. And I'll try to hit you up in the next 24 to 48, buddy. Max, have you tried to email me and I didn't respond to you? If that's
we do
the
get
case,
a lot of emails, so
I need to create another email address for those kinds of conversations, though. Because the Vin and Sori email address, I get like
it's too
hundreds
much.
of emails. But
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
I just saw an email that I missed like 5 days ago. And he's asked me a pretty important question. Like,
Yeah, create another one.
So yeah, I don't know.
Ask me anything.
Maybe I'll do ask me anything at vinandsori.com. That's a good point. I'm gonna create that email address. So Joseph,
vinandsori@gmail.com.
huh?
vinandsori@gmail. No, not vinandsori. I mean, ask me anything at gmail.com. We'll talk about it after.
We'll talk about it after.
This is weird.
We'll talk about it after.
Let's get back to the review. All right.
Okay. So like, yeah. So that makes sense to me because he's staining the ground because he's defiled, he's unclean, and they're a nice, prissy little town. So he's in the midst of the stillness. Beloved fraternity to an end or to the end. Mm-hmm. So their little town is this like beloved little brotherhood, and here he is, this filthy guy on the outside, and his very presence stains the soil. Think about it, staining the soil, which is a reversal, right? Because usually the soil stains your clothes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But this guy is so filthy in the minds of these people that his presence stains the soil.
Wow.
Yeah. Red eyes probe the scene all the same, stilted for the beholder. Depravity from the core, hand carved death in stone laden aisles. I think
he's saying that this they didn't change. Nothing changed in that city. Is that what he was saying?
Well, I think when it says red eyes probe the scene, his all
eyes
the same. Right.
Yeah,
but they're red
changed.
because he's
been
evil.
crying.
He's evil.
Oh.
I think it's red like.
Oh, I thought it was because he was like he'd been having a rough time while he was gone, but it could be. Yeah, I guess it could be.
Yeah, I think it goes with the whole marauder staining the soil. He's embracing the hey Nick in the house.
What's up, Nick?
DJ Nick has something very cool for you guys coming up pretty soon here.
Wait, I don't think it's that Nick.
Oh, that's not the same one? Okay, different
I don't think so.
Man, I'm just striking out here.
Oh no.
So like he's really embracing this like outcast vibe. Like he's saying, okay, if you're gonna say that, I'll be that. Okay, fine. I'm the outcast. I'm good with that. That like I think a lot of us in the metal community understand that. Mm-hmm. You know, like a lot of people say, like the metal community to me are some of the most misunderstood people, especially by religious people. Mm-hmm. And so like when you get on the inside, it becomes really interesting because when you really start talking and getting to know people, it's like, wait a second, they're not evil people, but they're just trolling you because you're judging them. Mm-hmm.
Right, exactly.
And I think that's funny as hell because Jesus used to do that. Jesus used to troll people all the time. He healed a dude on the Sabbath and then told him to pick up his mat.
Right.
When he knew that was one of the rules that the religious leaders made up was that you couldn't carry your mat on the Sabbath. So he waits on the Sabbath to heal this dude, heals him, and then says, go carry your mat and walk in front of the bad guys. He trolled those people. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Jesus of Nazareth. Holy smokes. Y'all don't understand, man. Jesus is now, he was a gangster, boy. He was
see, even something like that, like if you did the top 10 shocking things that Jesus did, that would be one of them.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't imagine Jesus like mischievously trolling
Don't
people.
forget to walk down the west side. Okay.
You trolled the hell out them boys. You got them niggas is mad as hell, boy. I mean, they were pretty mad. They crucified him. Good Lord. Okay. So, sly smile, poison glare behind, undisguised. Man-made nova, mute cry, don't dare to tread, searing beams, tracking you down, adoring what has never been. Some will bring with them all they have seen.
See what I mean? Like, I was having trouble. Poison glare behind. Okay, he's talking about the people. Undisguised, man-made nova.
Well, I'm on this part of the lyrics right here.
I thought
I hide the scars from my past, yet they sense my dirge. Okay, so they somehow.
Verse 2. Yeah.
Yeah, I hide the scars from my past, yet they sense my mute dirge.
Oh, okay. So the people are there. He tries to hide. Okay, so he doesn't want them to know that the last 15 years have been hard for him. So he was trying to hide that.
Yeah.
From them. Yet they sense my mute dirge.
Correct.
They understand he's not doing well.
A dirge is a funeral song, right?
this is when it all falls apart. White hands grasping her. So he's just trying to.
Yeah, you're grasping at straws. Literally is the term.
Mute cry. Don't dare to tread. Never has been. Some will bring them with them all they have seen. Some will bring with them all they have seen.
Yeah. So hold on. So it says sly smile, poison glared behind. I think he's talking about himself.
Oh.
I think he's using that smile as a defense mechanism. But behind that, there's a poison glare. Or he might be saying that they're smiling at him because that's what Christians do. But behind, they don't really feel
it could be, but I just think that's really freaking extreme. I think for people to I think that yes, I definitely think Christians are the type of people to judge you out of a city. But if you return after 15 years, I don't know if they'd be glaring at you. I think they'd be wanting to know well, what's happened now.
No, he said sly smile, but poison glare behind. So what you're seeing is a smile, but what's behind that smile is poison.
Yeah, I'm saying that I could see this being more you gave two explanations. One was it could be him, or the other one is it could be the people. I'm saying I think it's him because I don't think why 15 years to hold. You could see why he would hold on to that. He is deeply wounded by what happened in that city and the way that people treated him, the relationship with that girl. So I could see him having a poison glare. But for them, it's been 15 years, but
poison not in the sense of I'm hurt, but poison in the sense of
you're that angry.
No, not anger. Gossip is poison, right? When you say somebody's toxic, if I say so and so,
that's true. It could be
so and so is a
sly
gossiper.
Smile, poison glare behind.
Right?
But glare is the word.
Yeah, but
glare to me gives the idea you're not happy. You're
I just think that he's just saying that to say that it's a perceptive thing. I mean, like I said, it could go both ways. But for me, the reason I'm attributing it to them is because he speaks in the plural at the end of the paragraph. Adoring what never has been, some will bring with them all they have seen.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Which is, I'm assuming that's talking about these people are gossipers all the time. And so they're bringing with them everything they've seen to report to each other because that's all they do is gossip, these people. So some will bring with them all they have seen. Adoring what has never been, searing beams tracking you down. See, so I just think that it's it's just describing the but either way, even if he's the one with the slide, it's a toxicity of the environment. Mm-hmm. It's setting the stage this is an extremely toxic environment, and you keep asking yourself, why does this dude keep putting himself in this situation? And then you hear it. Searching my way to perplexion, the gleam of her eyes. In that moment she knew. And then you can contrast.
So she thought I could not leave this place on this imminent day? Thought I could not leave this place. Well, she knew? Oh, okay, go ahead.
Well, think about it. So above, we're talking about the glare of himself or the people.
Yeah.
But then when you get to the chorus, the gleam of her eyes. So the point is, there's him, there's the crowd, and then there's her, and she's the only one that has genuine goodness in her face. She's
gleam. I would think that would mean she's happy, right?
He's
happy to see him,
or a good, or just a good, pure, good person, right? Remember I say one of my kids used to have so much gleam in her. You know what I'm saying? It looks like, so he is not a pure person. Mm-hmm. Even by his own standards, they are obviously unclean people, right? By any decent person's standard. So when he looks at them, he's hiding who he is. Mm-hmm. He's hiding the dirge. And when they look at him, they're smiling, but they're hiding their poison. But when she looks at him, it's just pure.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
It's pure, and it's exhausting. Shout out to Nemo. It's exhausting to be in that situation where there's always a conflict, and you're all and there's all this unspoken animosity between the two groups. It's really exhausting. I mean, I was born in that environment, but for somebody who isn't, it's tough. So so it looks like that's the reason that she was so important to him, is because she was the only person that was genuinely good, and he could be good around her, right? That's the effect that a good woman has on a bad man. That's been the effect that you've had on me for sure. Is a good woman can do that with a bad man. It's like I say, a good woman has a civilizing effect, right? And so right. Searching my way to perplexion, in crumbling faith I saw her, bearing her pain in the wilderness, a gleam of her eyes in that moment she knew. So she has pain too, because I think she loves him too. And so there's a lot of pain that goes along with loving somebody who's ostracized. Right? And that's, you had to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Like with me, like when you're in those situations in these small towns, to me, the woman pays the heavier price.
Say it again. I just saw this part, so I was like, wait. So you,
what? A woman pays a heavier price in my mind.
Well, I mean, yeah, I would say
because it's guys are more suited for conflict and things things of that nature, and there's certain rules in society that we hold to that do not get held to in religious context when they want to go after somebody. Mm-hmm. All those rules get violated. Mm-hmm. So, good song. This is a song of the night for me. There's 2 more songs left. I don't know how.
Look, I don't know if this is true.
Two are gonna. I don't know the other two. I don't know if the other 2 are gonna be able to top that one.
This is genius. I know we don't usually read it, but it says he watches from afar, discovering that she has become a nun.
I mean, I don't know how.
Well, there's more. Well, I don't know if they're saying, maybe they know more of the album than we do, because I didn't see anything in here that let us say.
I don't know if it's a concept record or whatever, but I mean, the first 2 songs, the first 2 songs bleed right into each other. So this might be a concept record. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, it definitely seems. If you look at the, whoops, it's down here where it has the list of the songs right here. When we get Face of Melinda in there. So I think that the whole thing might be, the more God has, I think the whole thing is a story about them. That's my guess.
Yeah, it looks like it.
So maybe but that would be crazy if that's actually true, that he left because he didn't have enough faith and they drove him out of there, and then she loved him, so she becomes a nun, you know, because like, holy shit, that's crazy.
Yeah, blank Godhead, tear my name, lost virtue, frantic lust. Scroll up. See right there? Still breathing, soothing, calm, that rigid, twisted face, blank Godhead, tear my name. So that looks like,
lost virtue, frantic lust.
You know, I'm assuming he's like in a church.
Wow. You
ever see those like clips in a movie where they focus on the crucifix and the face of, but it's like an expressionless face.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I think what they're trying to communicate is God, he just doesn't care.
That's what I always wonder why they keep doing that in movies.
They're trying to communicate that God is watching. He sees what happens, but he's completely unaffected by what's happening. So this is blank Godhead, tear my name. I'm assuming tear my name means like from your book, like I don't want anything to do with you, blah blah blah. Which would make a lot more sense if he showed up there to find this girl and then showed he's a nun. Holy shit! Get thee to a nunnery. To a nunnery go!
Nunnery go!
Shout out to my man Hamlet. Gang,
gang. Oh, jeez. Okay. Really like this song. This is a 9.8 for me.
This is a 9.9 for me. I really, really like this song. I think that's the highest rating I've given all year. All year. There you are. There, listen. We have 2 more songs left. Do not go anywhere. Vin out.
Sorry, out.
Go. All right, guys. We are coming right back. We shall return. I'm Ben.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sorry says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at instory@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft.
What?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/VinandSori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy merch indeed. A child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Next song on the list is Carcass, Non-Compliance. This is for our... what is it? 3 Ways to Die? Death metal stream?
3 Ways to Die, DJ Ben's debut.
Non-compliance to ASTM F899-12 standard?
That's the
Fun
name of the
fact,
song?
The title of this song technically makes it an anti-title track because ASTM. It is the standard for surgical steel. I don't think I've seen that done before. No, I've not either. Okay. So now we're moving into... So first we did... The first two types of music was old school. Then the next 2 songs was prog. And now we're going into melodic death metal. So we've got 2 songs of melodic death metal.
Melodic death metal.
Yeah, so we're going to check that out.
Okay.
Wow. Carcass, Non-Compliance.
To ASTMF. What was that again?
To surgical steel. Well, it says non-compliance to ASTMF. Oh, wow. Look at the album cover.
That's so fascinating. Okay. All right. Here we go. The name of the band is Carcass. The name of the DJ is DJ Ben. It's right there. Come on, dear listener.
Hold on.
Look, sorry, talk to the people. You've already had your attempt.
Well, that's why I said I'm going to go back. Oh, go ahead. But he might have been teasing him, so... Orion likes to tease Reza, and then Reza cries, and then you think Reza's just being noisy or whatever. But poor Reza. Okay. Yeah, if you guys look at the album cover, it's like a circle of all kinds of surgical... Well, I don't think all of it's surgical, actually. I'm looking at a meat cleaver, so... yeah, forget that. I'm going to pull up the comment section here so I can... chat with you guys. Where's the comment section? I can't find it. Anyway, Ben is new to our DJ streaming, and this has been really fun. I like the style that you picked, going through the different types of death metal. But we got Carcass up next as soon as Vinny gets back, and we've got this was. Okay, this right here is the little gift that Johan got me for Christmas. We'll be right back.
All right, guys, childcare situation. We handled it. All right, here we go. Carcass, I'm just gonna say non-compliance.
Non-compliance.
I don't know how else to say that thing.
I couldn't find the comment section while you were gone.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I was like, where did it go? What am I supposed to...
hit the dialogue box.
Where was it?
Literally right there.
Over there. Okay.
Carcass, here we go, guys!
Non-compliance, let's go.
Let's get right to it. I'm with it.
okay.
Did you do that on purpose?
What?
DOA, wow, okay.
No.
D.
Maybe it was my subconscious.
Okay. Anybody have a dictionary? Did you see what these dudes were saying? Holy smokes.
I was like,
people were
Vin
like,
is
you
going to
gotta
have to do some... Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Well, what do you think they're talking about?
Hold on. I'm pulling up my lyrics. I was vibing with it. I'm just going with it. I was not breaking down the lyrics this time.
This dude really knows you. I have a feeling this is a conveyor belt song for Sorry.
It was, but I was still kind of vibing with it more than I usually do. Usually I'm like, ugh, let me turn it down. It definitely, headed that direction.
I was excited at the challenge of trying to understand these lyrics. It was very stimulating for me. I felt like I was in the I felt like I was in a battle with the lyricist of this song. I felt like he was saying, "You're never gonna figure out what the fuck I'm saying, nigga. Just vibe with the song, nigga."
That's what I did. I said, and I'm just gonna go vibe with it. Vin's gonna break that down later.
So I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna zero in on this bitch." See what they're saying.
And
okay. I think my exegesis of this song is that it is about them, actually, the band itself. And basically, they make music to get through basically the horrors of life, and we're all going to die in the end anyway, so you might as well have some time to enjoy their music. So that's the argument. I'm going to try to prove it in the next 10 minutes, but I don't know how well that's going to go, but here we go. All right, so numbing torturous troubadours of this melodious dirge. So there it is, right there.
Dirge again.
Dirge is a funeral song, right? Mm-hmm. Ostentatious triumphalism, impresarios of despair. Remember that song? It's a big black impresario coming out the black barrio, spend $1 million off a sorry hoe. Ooh,
No.
that's my scenario. Oops, not bad. That's my scenario. No, I can't touch a scary hoe.
Sounds fun though.
These niggas know more heat than a little bit. We don't pull out over a little shit. So if you catch a lick when I spit, then it won't be a little hit. Get a book, you illiterate son of a bitch. Step up your vocab. Remember that song?
That part.
So an impresario is like the boss, like the main influencer, right? So
Yep.
these guys, they're ostentatious in their triumphal. So they're singing this melodious dirge, but at the same time, so a dirge is a funeral song. But it's not, why are you trying to get into that?
I'm trying to put that thumbnail up there, but I can't get in.
My God, you're so terrible. Send me the thumbnail, Your Grace.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, the funeral dirge song.
That's a pretty good thumbnail, though. Numbing torturous troubadour. Okay, so of this melodious dirge, ostentatious, kind of like brash triumphalism. So that's being juxtaposed. So on the one hand, the music they put out is dirge music because it's metal, but on the other hand, it's still triumphalistic because they're still mastering the craft. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Especially
for sure.
like what they're doing with the guitar in that song.
Yeah.
Impresarios of despair. That means lyrically and sonically, they're talking about despair and things like that. Virtuosos of the visceral. So when you're talking about visceral, you're talking about like gut level. Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying? Viscera. Mm-hmm. So they're a virtuoso, somebody like who has mastered the craft. You say like Kirk Hammett's a guitar virtuoso.
Yeah.
Tom Brady's a football virtuoso. Yep. So virtuosos of the visceral, artisans of the morgue, wretched morbid euphemism, orating grisly tongue. So they're virtuosos of the visceral because that's what metal bands do. They're very visceral in the way they speak. Mm-hmm. Artisans of the morgue. They make art out of death. Oh. And it's literally death. It's literally death metal.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So they I think they're talking about themselves. Virtuosos of the visceral, artisans of the morgue, wretched, morbid euphemisms, orating grisly tongue. So they're just talking about death and using all the euphemisms that we all use relative to death because we never want to deal with it directly.
Yeah.
This is the way of all flesh that will decay. So this is why I'm making the argument. They're saying this is what we do with our music and you might as well enjoy it because this is the way of all flesh. The way of all flesh is a biblical term. When Jacob was dying, he said to his sons, I'm about to go the way of all flesh. Bring me your sons here so I could bless them. So the way of all flesh is interestingly a euphemism for death.
Right.
So right above he says wretched, morbid euphemisms, and then
And then
below
he uses one.
This is the way of all flesh, because the way of all flesh is a euphemism for dying. So that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Because
you have to know a lot more.
He just told you that he's using euphemisms.
And
right?
then he goes and does.
And then he goes and uses it, and then orating grisly tongue. He's using euphemisms from his grisly mouth, and then boom, the next thing you see is a euphemism for death. Brilliant. The cycle of death, exhausted, well, and truly plagued. That's a brilliant line. Because usually you say, well played, right? You say, well played, sir, right? And what he's saying is that death is, would grisly tongue be harsh death metal vocals? Yes, Jason, even better. I think Jason's more precise. Jason's also like, is that the guy that plays guitar? Grizzly tongue be harsh death metal vocals. Yeah, see now Jason's with me. He's going along with my theory.
And he jumped on.
Hear me. Okay? So, this is the way of all flesh that will decay. The cycle of death, exhausted, well and truly played, because plagued. Instead of saying well played, he says well plagued, because basically death is undefeated. So you basically tip your hat to death as a living person, and tip your hat and say, all right, we know at the end of the day you're going to win, so, well played. Of course, as a Christian, I don't believe that. Death has been defeated. Bless
Facts.
God. Jesus of Nazareth smacked the shit out of death. So come here, Nick. Shut the fuck
That
up.
was it. That's what he
So
said.
he did, yeah, he said, come here. Slap shit up that Nick.
Oh no.
I'm either going to hell or I'm going to be like on the third throne in heaven when this is over. Oh my God. Okay. This is not going well. Okay. A vacuous malaise for which you studiously cater the lowest common neonate denominator.
Oh my God.
I think he's talking about death here. And with all the things, the melee of what's going on in the world, death even comes for kids, for babies. Because it says the lowest common neonate, that's a newborn baby, denominator. So he's basically saying, death is efficient because well plagued, but simultaneously he's also saying death is ruthless because it'll go right down to the least common denominator. It has no mercy on anybody.
Yeah.
Now watch this. He just talked about lowest common neonate, right? Which is a baby. Look what he does. Germinated spores are sown, plagiarized as your own, but it's you we've outgrown, still born at birth. So I think that is talking about the whole process of life. A germinated spore.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Like seed.
Yeah.
And it gets germinated. That's conception. Right? Plagiarized as your own. That's brilliant. When you plagiarize, you copy something. So your kid is essentially a copy of you.
That's
so you germinated the seed, and then he's basically plagiarizing off of your DNA, which is kind of literal in a sense because DNA is information. And so my information is now in Dorian until they plagiarize that information from me.
Yeah.
But of course, how the hell does information just pop up out of matter?
We got a lot of questions.
So let that hang there. How does information pop up out of matter? How do you generate information from matter? It's gonna let that hang for a little bit, then we're gonna go right back into it.
And back to the lyrics.
That's what I'm saying. It was I was very, very, very challenging. Shout out to Sean James. LaShawn, I'm gonna call you LaShawn James from now on, bro. Like I'm never gonna call you anything else other than that. Okay, so we keep going. Artistically moribund, soulless ghosts of the underground, by the past you are bound, stunted at birth. I think they're talking about them. Because again, they're artistically moribund, meaning moribund means just down, depressive, dark, horrible. I think they're talking about themselves. The soulless ghosts of the underground. Again, that's them. I'm sure they spent a lot of time as an underground band. I mean, they're not an MTV band, I don't think.
By the past you are bound?
Stunted at birth. Yeah. So it's all these things from the past, all these things from the past make them who they are. See what I'm saying? So they became an underground death metal band because of the things that happened to them in their past, right from when they were born.
Okay.
Hell if I know how you
Wow,
get
okay.
information from matter. I agree. It's impossible. The fact of the matter is there's no such thing as matter, but that's a different discussion. We continue. Oh, that was brilliant, huh? Dulled, blunted, low tensile dearth metal, melodist of soullessness, harmonizers of the converse, in heartless exuberance, impotent vain facile notations, purveyors of rottenness, deadpan putrescent prose. Putrescent is something that's been putrefied, rotten.
I know.
Right? A musical spent blunt force trauma, the butcher's cut and attenuated. So this is them talking about, this to me right here is about what they do with their instruments. And you could see there was harmonization in the instrumentation. There was a lot of that stuff around this moment in the song. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yo, this dude's a genius.
Because
that's why I'm saying this particular section is specifically talking about their instrumentation.
Wow, that's cool.
A musical spent blunt force trauma, the butcher's cut attenuated. This is a way of all flesh, and then it ends the song. The fruits of perfection shown, assimilated and decomposed, but it's you that's been outgrown, stillborn at birth, non-hardened, brittle, untempered, dead, and then it says DOA. So that's why I'm saying that this song is really kind of about them. They're narrating how they view themselves, how they view their music, how they deal with the fact that all of us are going to die.
Yeah.
And I think what they're saying is, man, just listen to the metal, rock out, enjoy it. We're all going to die. Death is undefeated. No, it's not. And so
well, I mean, from their perspective, like, it's kind of positive in their way. They're saying, like, look, everybody's gonna die, whatever, like, enjoy the music while you can, basically. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what
so like, you know, from their perspective, it's kind of a positive song in a sense.
Oh,
like,
100%.
You know?
It's saying non-compliance.
Yeah.
Right, to the standard. So it's like we're not just gonna sit here and just float through life and die. We're gonna play some brutal metal. We're gonna beat the shit out of everyone. We're not just gonna sit here and die. We're gonna be loud. We're gonna be obnoxious.
Right.
We're gonna master our craft.
Yeah.
We're gonna beat the hell out of everybody with our music. Like this to me was like one of the most complex lyrically but satisfying reviews I've ever done.
I've never seen.
Because I felt challenged, and I'm not certain that I'm anywhere close, but anyway, I felt challenged.
Yeah. Okay.
Shout out to Shoreline, Washington, LaShawn James. What do you get the song?
Okay, so for me, you know, lyrically, if I got to do that much work, that's a no. I'm not. That's a way too much fucking work. And then, like, you're right. It was kind of like push you down the conveyor belt feel, but it wasn't that extreme. So
yeah, but this song had the solo of the night.
It did, but
I like that Opeth song so much better, but this song had the solo of the night.
I'll give this one a solid 8.
This is a 9.3 for me. 9.3 for me. I really, really, really love the lyricism of this band. It was very good, very challenging. Like, it's not something where it's like, yo, this is gonna be on MTV, blah 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 blah. It's not even, this song's not even something like you're gonna like actually like mosh to and go crazy with. But it is a sort of like, this is where we are. You know what I'm saying? This is where we are. This is what we do. That type of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So I and really it's a, even though it gives death the nod, it's still a rebellion against death. Mm-hmm. Like, they don't have a resurrection, I don't think.
Yeah.
So it's one of those, like, if you don't have a resurrection, then the only way you can conquer death is to say, I'm not afraid of you, I'm going to stare you right in the face.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think that's part of it too.
Yeah.
And Jason Hopkins agrees. So if J-Hop agrees, that's it.
Then that's it. It's over.
If J-Hop agrees, it's over. This guy Ben, man. This guy Ben with the fucking sick. We got one more song. Actually, we may not have only one more song. We may have something in the works for you beautiful people. But we got one more song for the big homie DJ Ben. Vin out.
Sorry out.
Gone. I'm Ben.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sorry says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get matched down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at instory@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in a Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village. Facebook.com/Ben-Sorry. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sorry and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. A child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. We are in the midst of the 3 Ways to Die stream brought us to you by DJ Ben. Why is it called 3 Ways to Die? Because we've been listening basically to 3 generations of death metal.
Yeah. So
Thank you, Riv, about that 40K thing. I was very, very curious. Okay.
So up next, the last song on our DJ stream is Carcass, Mount of Execution, and let me just double check to see if he said anything. He did not.
All right, Carcass, Mount of Execution.
Let's go.
DJ Ben and Sorry. Let's do this shit. Yo. Shamelessly. I will shamelessly thief that little section. That was so good. And that genuinely caught me by surprise because I was looking at the lyrics. So I wasn't able to see the timestamp.
Oh.
So because I wasn't able to see the timestamp, I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? I thought the song was over. I'm like, oh, okay. It kind of like
went right back in.
Yeah, went right to bed and then bang. Okay, that was Carcass.
Wow, Mount of Execution.
Mount of Execution. I was very, 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 very surprised by the lyrics of this song because were you following? They're talking about shit that's going on in Mexico.
Oh.
It looks like.
No, okay.
Looks like Mexico or Colombia or whatever.
Okay.
So the song starts off with Vamos, which is Spanish for let's go.
Okay.
Vamos or Vámonos or
yeah,
Avanza.
I was gonna say. I thought I heard people say Vamonos.
Yeah, Vamos. It's like the shortened form.
Okay.
So which means let's go. Mm-hmm. So he starts the song off that way, and then it says, let me pull these lyrics up.
Come tell me, do you pray to the devout Santa
Muerte? So Santa would be saint, and Muerte would be death.
Yeah.
So they had the Dia de Muertos in Mexico, I think it is, and it's
she's often associated with criminality and other moral behavior.
Basically, the Day of the Dead, Dia dos Muertos, and they,
is
they
that what they
dress
do
up
the painting?
Yeah. The thing is, I was just watching this. It was on Lex Friedman. These cartels. I'm talking about these drug cartels.
This is so interesting about the Saint of Muerte. It's the Saint of Death.
I was just going to tell you, these drug. I generally don't like to look at genius.
I know. I'm not. Oh, this
these drug
cartels.
These drug cartels. A lot of them are actually extremely religious, but cult-like religious.
Yeah.
Like sacrifices, drinking blood, all types of shit.
Wow.
These Mexican cartels. Yeah.
Okay.
I was watching the Lex Friedman show. And he was dealing with a guy who was, cartel guy or whatever.
Yep.
But yeah, man, shit is crazy. Like I was blown away. All these like ritual killings that ISIS was doing in videos. I've said this before on videos. These ritual killings and things that ISIS did on videos to terrify
Oh, but they
people.
got it from them.
They got that from the cartels.
Yeah.
The cartels were originally doing that with the media and other figures who were speaking out against them.
That's so terrible.
So
yeah,
like. So it looks to me like that's what he's addressing. He says, "Can you come tell me? Do you pray to the devout Santa Muerte, or do you slay for hell Nina Blanca without mercy?" Mm-hmm. So Nina Blanca would be white.
Yeah.
And Nina.
I was like, we were just talking about that.
Nina would be a little girl. So remember El Nino? Yeah. Remember that storm system back in the day?
Yeah.
That means little boy, Nino. And Nina would be little girl. So
no. They killed a little girl without mercy?
It says, do you slay for hell Nina Blanca without mercy? So it looks to me like Nina Blanca was killed. Nina Blanca was killed, or Nina. Nina means the little white girl, basically. Nina Blanca means the little white girl. So apparently some little white girl got killed, and so now there's going to be hell to pay because of it, I think. And look,
the cavalry of this Calvary.
The cavalry of this Calvary. Mm-hmm. That's a brilliant, right? So you got the military cavalry, and then you've got the Christian Calvary.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, okay.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the military, the cavalry of this Calvary, because it looks, apparently it's probably some sort of Christian, militarized Christian group. Mm-hmm. A Nuevo Testament that decimates a reconquista of the crematoria. Okay, so Nueva would be new. So a New Testament, which obviously is an allusion to the Bible, that decimates the reconquista of the crematoria. So the reconquering of the crematoria. The crematoria is one of the things that they talked about in Nazi Germany, where you set all these people on fire because you're doing these mass cremations. Yeah. A gathering corpse storm of hell awaits. So Tony Lone Rider Smith. These people are, there's a combination of religion, vengeance, all that type of thing.
Yeah.
Bloodied but unbowed, these seasoned grievances will be avowed. So battle happened. Nina Blanca dies. They're vowing revenge. They lost the battle because it says bloodied but not unbowed. These seasoned grievances will be avowed. Like they're going to get their get back. A dark mobilization and aphotic horizon. Aphotic means lightless.
Oh,
not necessarily
really?
dark, not necessarily dark, but without light. So it's an ironic twist. I think Niña Blanca in Mexican
That's going
tradition
into my writing tonight for sure. I'm setting that right now.
Oh, okay. So Nemo has us some intel. I think Niña Blanca in Mexican tradition is a softer side of death.
Oh.
So in that interpretation, the first two lines would be, do you want Santa Muerte, which would be the cartel, or Niña Blanca would be the softer side of death? I don't know. But that's another way to look at it. A war unrestrained, a reign of terror is unleashed. The battalions of Ranger trooping down from the heights of Bible Hill. See right there? I think it was something where some religious group of people did this killing.
Wow.
And now folks are getting that. There was no New Jerusalem, but a Golgotha that you created. Golgotha, it translates to the place of the skull.
Yeah.
In New Testament Koine Greek. And that's the place where Jesus was crucified. So it was
it's
a hill.
Crazy if you actually look at the picture of it.
It was a hill in the shape of a skull. And so notice it says there was no New Jerusalem. New Jerusalem is sort of like the ideal state of humanity where everybody's getting along, everybody's prospering, everybody's healthy, everybody loves God, everybody loves each other, which is what Christians are supposed to be attempting to bring into the world by our actions, words, deeds, etc. Mm-hmm. But notice, there was no New Jerusalem, but a Golgotha you created, meaning you just brought more death. Oiling the machines of your opulence, a sprawling barrio spawning an open living grave, mountainous calaveras, come hold my hand, witness the truth, mass execution of juvenility, the liquidation of a whole ungodly youth.
Jeez.
So there was some sort of mass murder that happened in the name of God.
Bloodied but unbowed.
These seasoned grievances will be avowed. And then stupefying horror across the river awaits. Can't you see the narco-insurgency death rattling at the gates? It's explicitly right there. Narco-insurgency would be, the narcotic stuff.
Yeah.
Which is what the cartel traffics in, and which is what our folks in Mexico. There's actually a show called Narcs or Narcos or something like that. We'll watch it eventually. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this seems to be about all the cartel shit that's happening across the border in Mexico, and there's some sort of correlation, some beef he has with Christianity. I don't know if this is a specific event where Christians killed a bunch of young Mexican cartel folks and they're vowing vengeance. Yes. I'm not sure what it is, but either way,
taste it's God's own medicine, they said. Yeah,
dispensed from the horn of the goat. Mm-hmm. Like, they finally got their get back. They eventually were able to go and kill the people that did all that. So it was a brilliant. This guy lyrically, I'm not gonna put him on the same level as Danny Filth. But lyrically, I think this guy is they're in the same room. Mm-hmm. I think he's in the same room with Danny for sure. I mean, I'm not sure. Like, I could see people trying to criticize this guy and saying you're trying to make this song or these lyrics more complex than they need to be. But considering this is the second song we've done of them in a row, I mean, I just think that this is his writing. The guy is just smarter than all of us. You know what I'm saying? Like, what can you do?
Wait, I was just writing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what can you do about it?
My fault. You're so ignorant.
Yeah, he just. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's this song's 8.8 for me.
Okay, I like the sound of this one better than the last one. Lyrically, that was a crazy story. What did you give it?
8.8.
That was 8.9 for me.
Okay. Why did you look at me like that?
Because I was just surprised that our number kind of came so close, because I already had 8.9 planned, and then I was like, but what did he pick anyway? And then I was just like, oh, okay. Wow. Okay. Crazy. Yeah, I like this one better. I like the vibe of it better and stuff. So.
Ooh. I wonder if Niña Blanca, being a white lady, is a reference to cocaine.
Ooh, boy.
It's possible, but Niña isn't lady though. It's child. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that work. Although Andre,
I don't know. That sounds.
Andre might be able to litigate. Andre, Niña means little female child, right? Could it be woman or even girlfriend? I'm not sure. Jeff, who writes the lyrics, travels in South America. Oh, okay. So that dude is obviously very familiar with the language and the culture for sure. All right, guys.
Interesting stream. This was very, very enjoyable.
This is such...
Three Ways to Die. I thought it was going to be all like death metal stuff. Like I didn't think that there was going to be like the variation that there was. I was very interested to see the three different things.
I think we got it. J-Hop just explained it. Drug dealers call cocaine white girl, and heroin is known as boy. So Nina Blanca, white girl, that's cocaine. Wow. So there we go. We got it.
That's crazy.
Do you slay? So let me go back to that line. We figured it out. We figured it out, dear listener. Okay, so what he's saying is, come tell me, do you pray to the devout Santa Muerte, or do you slay for hell Nina Blanca without mercy? There it is. Okay, so are you doing this because are you killing all these people because you're just you're devoted to the saint of death, or are you killing all these people because you're just a money hungry person who's killing people over cocaine? Right? Yeah. So Nina Blanca, white girl, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it does.
Good job, J-Hop. Good job, J-Hop.
Shout out to you.
And by the way, how do you know that? How do you know drug dealers call cocaine?
Wait a minute.
White girl.
Yeah.
You were definitely you were absolutely correct, Nemo. You were on the right path. You were on the right. We just needed the insider drug language. That's what we needed. We needed the insider drug language. This was such a good song, guys. Well done, Ben. We gotta give Ben some love. This is his first. Yes. Everybody type 22. This was Ben's first DJ stream, dear listener.
What an interesting stream.
He jumped in with both feet. 22 for the big homie Ben. And we gotta send him off.
It's always interesting when there's like a new DJ. Yeah. Because so with the DJs that we're familiar with, we're like, oh, okay. It's kind of like for me, sometimes it feels, because they're spread apart, so it feels like home for the holidays type of feel. Like when you're away and you come back for the holidays, like that's kind of, because we know what type of vibe.
I see there's gonna be a stream.
We got Revo stream tonight. We kind of, you know what I mean. So, but when it's a new person, you don't know what you're walking into. You're like, what is this gonna be? And so you get to kind of like feel the vibe of their songs, and I enjoyed it. So thank you, Ben, for this stream.
Yeah, good job, guys. There's the DJ air horn. There's the DJ air horn for the newest DJ in our village, DJ Ben. We appreciate him. Much love to all you beautiful people. We are out of here. We got a Bible study to do. So, priorities. There you are, dear listener. Thin out.
Sorry out.
Gone. And we will leave with this final word from our brother Ben. Thanks, everyone. I was so happy to finally do this. Freaking Ben. Well done, bro.
Yeah,
get out of here.
It's true. When he decided he wanted to do it, he was like, boom, he sent the money with all the information. And I was like, whoa, he's ready to do the stream.
He's like, I'm going to jump in right now. I'm going to jump in right now on this shit. I'm like, okay.
I was like, go for it.
Serious. I was like, we got to show up this shit.
All right.
Yes. Thanks for the
coming
night,
through,
Ben.
everyone.
We love all you beautiful people. Be here tomorrow, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. We have an Alliance stream. There's a lot of ways, guys, to get your songs reviewed. This way, tomorrow's the Alliance stream. We got and there's gonna be another way for you to get your song reviewed at. Did we discuss this? Was it like a 30% deduction?
Well, I thought we had discussed it, but I'm not sure why you're asking.
Or was it a 50% deduction? There's a way for you to get a song review. It's a modified song review.
Like a coupon.
Like a coupon. But it's going to be at a much lower price.
Discounted rate.
It's going to be at a much lower price, but it's going to be a limited time, and there's only, I think, 15.
And there's a limited amount of spots.
There's only 15 spots. But we're shooting an update video for you guys and talk to you guys about that. No, Nemo, I'm not gonna cover the second mass shooting we've had in a row.
You know what we should do?
We did have a mass shooting today while the stream was happening. 7 people died.
My God.
And no, I'm not covering it on Middle America. I'm sure other people will cover it. I just don't want to talk about that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, I had my partner, the guy that I'm doing the channel with.
Yeah. He's
signed in California, so I'm like, yo, when I saw the news break pop on my phone, so I hit him up. I'm like, bro, man, watch your six, man, hit the swivel. He didn't know. Because it just happened. Like the shit happened. As we were.
Oh wow. Okay.
As we were. Yeah.
I think what we should do is
honestly though, Ben. Honestly though, dude. Like I loved what you did with the theme where you had 3 kinds of death metal.
Yeah.
3 eras, maybe 3 different bands. Like it really gave you an opportunity to like. Okay, this is how far the genre can go. That was really cool. Everybody does good on the DJ stream, guys. Everybody does. It's just I love the uniqueness that everybody brings to the table.
I think we should put the update video or something. Well, maybe we could talk about it after. Possibly putting it up on Patreon first to give the patrons a chance for that discounted rate first, and then put it out.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay. All right, guys. Love you guys. Stay safe, guys, especially if you're in America. Please just be aware of your surroundings. Don't walk around in fear. We're not going to give in to fear because of these people. But we're going to, the scripture says, be wise as serpents and gentle as doves. So we're not going to walk around in fear. We're going to love our neighbor. We're going to do the best we can for people around us. But please be diligent. If you're shopping, fucking go to Walmart, get in, get out. Don't fuck around, please. Just take care of yourselves, guys. I love you all.